What's up? What's up? What's up? Hey, 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 you. Welcome to our daily India talk. We are closing out this series of reflecting on each day of this time last year when my ex strategically orchestrated to lock me up, get me diagnosed, force me to take medication. Stay that way, baby. And just play with my mind and create a narrative. We are on day 18. And tomorrow is officially the last day. I got out tomorrow. So let's check in with y'all. How y'all doing today? I got some proof I wanted to show y'all today. This is my fucking souvenir. I'm reporting live today from in the house. I usually report live from the park. It's gonna rain, or it's supposed to rain. It's like getting cloudy and windy outside. So I don't really know if it's gonna rain or not, but I don't know if I try to wait it out to do it later, I'll be able to. So I'm on now. And I'll let you know right now that I do not have a official journal entry for day 18. I did do a combination journal entry for day 19 when I got released. So I kind of did 18 and 19 together. But because 19 mostly reflects on me leaving and overall experience, I'm just going to save that for tomorrow. And today, sing it, baby. Get down. Get down. Thank you. Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? Let's check in. I'm so excited to talk to y'all today. Um, hello, Haram. I hope that's how you say your name. I'm doing well today. How are you? What are you saying, girl? Love from London. Oh, thank you, girl. Love from London. Thanks for checking in from London. If you come in with, um, I'm gonna report you. If you come in with nonsense on my page, I'm gonna report you. Check in. Come positive. Come engaging. Come asking the right questions. Hi, Dylan. Hi, ISS 747. What's good? What's up from Ireland? Thank you, Gavin. How are you doing today? What is my favorite movie? I don't know. My favorite movie used to be Jason's Lyrics. I'm from the 80s, 90s, raised me. I don't necessarily have a favorite movie. I've kind of tapped out of that stuff for a long time now. I have a lot of favorite books. The King Firm High. Thank you, unknown creature, for the compliment. My love, get down from there. Either sit over here with mama or sit over there. Get down. Thank you. Hello, Corey. How are you? Thank you, Dale, from the compliment. Where am I from? I'm from Massachusetts. Hi, Dylan. Love from what's happening? Love from Memphis. What's up, Memphis? I've been to Memphis before. Hi from Barbados. Wow. Thank you for checking in from Barbados. How are you doing today? Brazil. Magnum. Thank you for checking in all the way from Brazil. Hi, D1. What's up? How are you? All right. I'm reporting you. Stay over there, please. I don't want you in my video, my love. Greetings from Palestine. What's up, Sam? How are you? Have you read The Wonderlist by Daniel Steele? It's a good read. No. Die. Oh, and I need a pen. Let me take a screenshot. Thank you for the book offer. Um, yo, I'm telling you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, yo. And nothing's going on. There's quiet. There's nothing happening. The second I want to get on and focus, a whole bunch of stuff be going on. Thank you for the book offer. I took a screenshot, so I'm adding it to my list of books to get when I go to Barnes and Nobles. I am doing well today, Magnum. How are you? Magnum Moda. Thank you, Dylan, for I hope I'm saying your name right. ID1. Crusher, reporting you. I'm not playing. Y'all gonna learn to come correct or don't come at all. Um, Rib, Rib have? I don't know. Hey, how are you? Pete Man, what's up? Wait, you're not married? Shocking. Um, Claiming to be married to someone who I was never married got me in a sticky situation that I almost got stuck in and wasn't able to get out. So that's why we're here talking about that experience. Nice to meet you. Likewise. Thank you for the emojis, Bobby. How you doing today? What's up, Just Blaze? Kevin, thank you for the compliment. How are you doing today? Mutant, 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 Black Queen. Thank you for the compliment. Would you be my empress? Husband material. Funny. You look like you have a good soul. Thank you, Swahizzle. I do have a good soul. Thank you for noticing. My name is Aaron Badu. Then why do you have your name Magnum Moda? What's up, Aaron? A Ron. Yo, every time I see the name Aaron now, I'll be like, A Ron from that episode. Y'all not ever gonna be free from that, but what's up? Now I'm gonna come as you are kind of person. Why is your name King Toxic? That says a lot. What's up? How you doing? I look like your ex? Okay, sorry for that. Hello, ma'am. What is this stream about? This stream is about my ex, who claimed to be my husband, who was never my husband, locked me up and left me there, gave me a diagnosis, created a narrative about me, forced me on medication, and poisoned me. So we're reflecting on that. That's what it's about. Reflecting on that every day because I went through a traumatic experience loving the wrong man. Thank you, TFTSS. You need a new name, my friend. Thank you. I try to smile every day. Thanks. How are you doing today? Good afternoon from Detroit. Thank you from Detroit checking in. Hi, Trent. Oh, JC. I want to give you a shout out. Hi, Trent. Hi, God, Mega Family God. Why do y'all come up with these names? Tell us the story. I am, but people are checking in. So I was just trying to say hi. That I can't win with y'all. If I just tell my story, you're like, you're not paying attention to the comments and you won't talk to us. And then when I'm talking to you, like, get what's the story? So I'm trying to say hi, greetings to everybody. Hello, Amin. Hi, Issa. Thanks for joining. Hello, Faraz. No, I would not like to join your religion. Day 18, locked up by your ex. Yes, we're on day 18. Tomorrow's the last day of the series. I got out tomorrow. Thank you for the compliment. Thank you for checking in from France. Toasty Sweet, you're 12. This is not for kids. Why are you on here? But what's up? X sounds like he used to watch too many episodes of Dexter. That's very interesting that you say that because that was one of his favorite shows. And I never could get into it. But yes, he likes Dexter. He watched every season. Thank you for the compliment, Papa Joe. I like to refer to them as locks. Most women fall for the wrong one, says X. I guess so. I thought I was doing a great thing of dealing with the man that you friend zone. Jokes on me. All right, you're out of here. Let me report you. I'm not playing with y'all, yo. Okay, I'm gonna get to the story because now there's just like starting to be weird comments. Hi, Richmond. Hi, Vonde. You look too beautiful to get hooked by no good guy. Thank you, JC. Van Day, what's up? What's up? What's up? Oh, thank you, Aaron. Jordan Costa, hi. Hello, Brazil, hi. What? My hair is dangerous. What's dangerous about my hair? Somebody said DMY. All right. Damn, that took like 10 minutes. I fucked with y'all. So I don't have a journal entry from today. I was saying that at the beginning that my journal entry of day 19 included day 18 because there was so much going on today that I didn't get to journal, but I wanted to go over some stuff that I've touched base on, but I haven't really divulged in regarding this man in my relationship and just this experience. So I'm gonna go over that, but I did want to show y'all my proof. So here's my picture from when I got admitted. And this was my souvenir. I took it and I had to show this every day when I started participating in groups and when I would have to get food. So here's the Johnny that I had to wear that I was wearing for 6 days straight and my name there in the front. And I was smiling. I was like, I don't know what this is, but you're not gonna break me. But I was pissed. But I did smile for the picture. And I am looking like an official psych patient. And then here on the back is like my name, um, vegan, and then the dates that I was here at Westboro, 7/27/24 to I don't know what's coming in to 8/14/24. So yeah, what do you guys think about my picture? I don't know if you can really see it like that great. I like taped it and tried to make it like a official badge, but I've dug this up and found it for y'all today to show you. Oh my gosh, that crazy time, a crazy experience in my life. So this has now become my souvenir of when my ex tried to make me an official. Well, he didn't try, he did temporarily. His plan didn't fruition all the way. So there's a picture. Let me know what you guys think about it. Hi, Elvis. Welcome back. I fucks with you. Yeah, yeah, by my ex. My ex committed me, tried to commit me, but the plan didn't work out as much as he wanted it to. I look like Felix from SKZ. I don't know what that means. Yeah, dedicate a reggae song. What? I guess you can. It needs more color. I don't know what to tell you, bro. It is. Yo, I don't know what it is. People, this had be trying to stop me. Every time I get on my live, yo, I'm telling you, it's just craziness going on. When I'm not on my phone, nothing is happening. Nobody calls me. There's nothing going on. My daughter's chilling. Like, as soon as I get on, it'd be like messages start to pop me. Um, can you hear me now? Tell me if you can hear me. Y'all gonna learn this not come on my page with the bullshit. Can you hear me? What's up? Tell me if you can hear me, yes or no. I am feeling well. Power farmer. No sound, no sound. Yeah, because somebody was calling me. So, can you hear me now? Yes or no? Somebody, anybody? Okay. Thank you, Z Dog. Okay, so today, um, day 18, I went through stuff that I wanted to talk about. Hello from Trinidad. What's up? I need to get to Trinidad. Yes, I have one daughter. I wanted to just talk about a, like a few different topics that I have covered over the last 18 days, but not so much in depth. Hey, girly, what's up? Okay. So we're gonna talk about meds, bipolar, friends, poisoning, not being worth it, the lottery, and then some other things regarding my daughter and just that man. So my love, stay that way, please. So as far as the meds, that was the whole thing about this entire situation that it took me to day 16 to really understand why he was so adamant about medicating me and wanting me to be on medication. Um, yeah. Besides trying to make me a vegetable and a zombie and an addict, a conditioned addict, you know, functioning addict, gotta take medication to function and live. I've never had to do that before this man. I take vitamins and I drink smoothies. Like, I don't know what type of time he's on. Um, but I thought about something as far as this being strategized and orchestrated because when I had my daughter, I was on like a lot of like heavy meds, obviously, because I had a C-section, and afterwards I had surgery on my leg, so I was bedridden. And while I was bedridden, I was getting a degree. I was breastfeeding. I had started another new business, trying to make more income. I was doing all these things, and even at that time, like he was treating me so bad. I don't even want to get into those stories because I already told them to a psychiatrist and made her cry, and she told me I was making them up when they're my real life. But it made me think about a lot of these things that I wanted to cover, made me think about things that happened prior to this and after to this that go together. So I will read a few things and then I will check back in with you guys. So prior, besides taking a Tylenol or like at a leave, I don't take meds. And neither does this man, but it made me think about one day he was having a lot of pain and I was feeling bad for him because it just seemed like he was in excruciating pain. And I had remembered from my pregnancy and then also from my surgery that I had some, I don't know why I can't think of the name of the meds, but they're strong. And I remember I'm like, babe, if you're feeling in that much pain, like I still have some of oxys. I had some oxys from my surgery and from my C-section. And so I was like, I got an oxy, like take that because like the Tylenol and Advil wasn't working, whatever that day. And I remember how he screamed and cussed me out about like, don't ever fucking offer me drugs. I don't take drugs. I don't take those kind of meds. And I was like, damn, I was just trying to help, bro. Like, if you're in that much pain, like this is that's why they give you these strong meds. And so it made me think about him putting me on Zyprexa and Haldol, which are antipsychotics, and like when I had to give in and take them, how much of a zombie and a vegetable and like I just was sleeping a lot, how that made me feel. And then when I got home and I had to take them more, he was making me do double and triple dosages. And I just remember how he told me, like, oh, I love you like this. Like, this is awesome that you just sleep and you're quiet, you don't say nothing, and I'm just like out of it. And I was just like, why the fuck would somebody want me to be in this kind of state, this condition? I think that that's strange. I still think that that's strange till this day. And honestly, he wanted that to be my identity. He wanted that to be my identity of like when I wake up, I have to take meds to function and get through the day. And then also he was planting a lot of seeds in my head to talk about this, like make this my identity, and like to show up and be like, hey, every day I have to take meds to function. Because that's what he told me. He told me he was doing research on other people's pages about being bipolar and having to take medication for their moods, and how they were had so many views and they were making a lot of money off these pages, and like almost trying to condition me to do that and show up and like this now be my identity and this is who I am. I just like I'm just so confused about I'm just so confused, yo. But like I said, I don't need medication, and I don't. All right, I was gonna check in with the comments, but y'all are writing a bunch of dumb shit. Um, I don't need medication, so that just will never sit with me. But I thought about that before with him screaming at me, offering him something when he was really in pain, and I was just trying to be helpful. Like you try to create a narrative and try to create a situation, and then try to make this my life, my identity. How dare you? Hey, hey, hey. So thank you, Karis. I really appreciate that. I appreciate the comment. And I appreciate the engagement positively. You're not wrong, Queen Cider. Real, thank you. The gray area, welcome back. You look like the Haitian girl I know who was married to my friend. Okay. So next I wanted to talk about the bipolar diagnosis. Now, I've already said, my love, no thank you. Fine. Give them to mama. They're mine. Give them. I don't understand what's happening. Give them to me. I've already said that no, these are mine. Find something else to play with. I've already said that I if the if this was the end goal for him, that I could accept the bipolar diagnosis. I already know that I struggle with my moods and that I didn't understand the significance of the things that trigger my moods. So that's the thing that helps me through this situation. So like I said, I can accept the diagnosis. I don't accept the disrespect, and I don't accept the abuse and the way that he treated me after this. Like things just got drastically worse. It amplified everything, and this it was more harmful than helpful. And then I also truly believe that him and his mom orchestrated this because they were upset about how I was going about doing the diagnosis for my daughter. So for them, they're just like, well, if we can't get the baby, we're gonna get the mama kind of thing. Like weird. Like they have the weirdest relationship I've ever seen in my life, yo. So that was before I was dealing with going through the proper steps all by myself. Like he didn't help. All they did was judge and talk shit about their own kid and their own granddaughter. They didn't help me through the process, and they didn't understand that I like to take my time and do research and development. I don't just do what somebody tells me to fucking do. And I research and I find the proper people in alignment that is going to understand what I've been dealing with and understand my kid. I'm not taking someone to meet her for 2 minutes and then diagnose her. Like I wasn't doing that. So they didn't like that I was taking my time and that I researched it and I educate myself on stuff. I don't just do what somebody tries to plant in my fucking head, yo. And so I think that this all arise to like to try to get back at me and be like, well, there's something wrong with you because there's something wrong with your daughter. When one, there's nothing wrong with my daughter. Two, everything medically comes from the man. Like, I've had to research this. Everything medical disorders and diagnosis and anything that's deemed wrong come from the man. The man provides the seed, the man provides the DNA. The woman is just the egg in the incubator, and you bring it to life. You bring it from the spiritual realm to the physical realm. So on top of that, I'm the third mom with the third kid. All his kids are on the spectrum. I myself am even on the spectrum. I believe that everybody's on the spectrum if we want to be real, if you want to label people and everything. But if all your kids are from three different women and they all have are on the spectrum, they all have eczema, they all have stuff that is going on that runs in your family, you can't be keep trying to be like, it's the women. No, it's you and your sperm and your DNA and whatever else. But it's like, I don't, there's nothing wrong with my kid. Like, I don't think that people understand that kids need time to develop. And we live in a microwave world where it's like, oh, if they're not doing this by this, let's label them. And I wasn't allowing that. I'm like, no, give her time to develop. And then also being around people that's speaking negatively over my daughter, I don't play that ish. So I always had to like check them and put them in their place. Like, you're not going to be speaking negatively over my daughter or talking about like just because there's a delay that this is going to be her life. Like, delayed doesn't mean denied. And so it's like a whole lot of stuff. So I believe that a lot of this was a way to get back at me. And like I said, I will accept it. It helped me understand um, some, as far as being triggered, things that trigger to put me in an emotional imbalance, for lack of terms. But he was trying to make that be my story. Like, this is like he's God and he's writing the pen to my, he has the pen and writing my story. And like, this is who you are. You're no longer India. You're just a bipolar person who has mood swings and can't function without medicine. And it's like, no, I don't know who you think you are, but that's not my freaking story. And you're not God, yo. You're not God. I don't even know what this experience was. So before, that's what I was dealing with, like all the stuff with my daughter and all the stress that was coming from them. And I like literally every day I felt like I had a baby, and then I it's almost like I had this flower that was growing just fine, and then every day I had to protect it from somebody trying to rip it out the dirt. Her dad and the grandma and the granddad, his whole family, like they're all strange, yo. And I was just like, wow, like I'm already dealing with so much. And like I said, I had her, I had surgery, I was bedridden, I was getting degrees, I was doing all this shit. So you're trying to say I'm a lazy, unfit mom and not doing nothing and need to get my life together? Where? I can tell you everything that I did every single year, what that ranks, over ranks, whatever he was doing when he stopped being in tune with with business. Hi, Daggy from Africa. Hello. Ellen, 13. Do you have a kid with this ex? Yeah, one. The one daughter I have. He has three kids. I am the last. I'm the third mom with the third kid. It is a tough spot, Hassan. Damn, this dude has three baby mamas and I can barely get a text back. Ayo, listen. It's a cold world out here. And yeah, that's why he should be excelling in business. He has the gift of gab. And there was like a meme that's like, if you can talk three women into having your kids, you should be like this excellent entrepreneur. But I don't remember verbatim, but he doesn't use his gift of gab and his charm in the right way. He uses it very toxic and demonic and for like low frequency, frugal, stupid shit. Yeah. You're really pretty, by the way. Yeah, I'm not looking. I'm just reporting people. That's what I'm learning about. No, I don't eat fish. I'm vegan. Been vegan for the past 9 years. But I used to for the first 30 years of my life. Yeah, get them. Cuss them out for me if y'all want to. I don't got time. I don't got time for y'all. Is who crying? My daughter? No, she was not crying. Hi, Andrew. No, I don't have chickens. Thank you, Karis. Hi, Rocky. He reminds me of Gary from Tyler Perry show Sisters. Dag, I've watched a lot of Tyler Perry, but I never watched Sisters. Enlighten me. Tell me about him. How? What does he do? Do you have a Hi, Rocky? I was diagnosed as a kid, took no medication, and now I work in a propulsion lab. Just do what works for them. Normal life, right? I think that people just want to label you so you'll live in lack. They don't want you to live in your purpose. That's what this experience taught me. Because I'm like, they were so adamant of labeling my daughter. And I was like, no, I'm not putting a label on my daughter. Like, she's going to be fine. I'm her mother. She is me. And like, me having my kid, and I see how I was as a kid and how people killed my curiosity early on, and like they didn't let me be myself, and they just called me weird because I like to play by myself. That's a big thing of being on the spectrum. Like, if you like to play by yourself and not like to play with others, they try to be like something wrong. No, thank you. No, thank you. So I don't let people kill my daughter's curiosity, label or no label. And now I have a label unofficially. But that's not going to be my story. And that's how he used to try to introduce me to. I'm telling you, after I got out, it was just like everything was bipolar. Like, did you know she's bipolar? Oh, she's bipolar. Oh, she didn't take her meds today. Oh, and I'm like, oh, snap. And then he started talking to me like a doctor. Every day he would be like, do you know what today is? Do you know what year it is? Do you remember the last time you took medication? Yeah, I was like, I'm not dealing with that. I left the medical field. Bro, I worked in the medical field for 17 years. If you think that I left that shit in 2013 to deal with somebody that's trying to make this my life, I will take yours. Yo. And that brings me to my next point. Hi, hi, hi. Hi to everybody. Okay, thank you for the compliment. No evil shall be before you, now shall any plague come near your dwelling. Okay, thank you for the scripture. Gary basically dated two women and proposed to both, but they never knew about each other until one episode when one was pregnant with his kid. But he was controlling and jealous. So that reminds me of the other two moms. So the other two moms, um, they lived right around the corner from each other, and one didn't know about the other, or like the second mom knew about the first mom but she didn't care, and the first mom didn't know about anyone until like she was out one day at the gas station and she seen him in his car and the girl getting out and her pregnant. So that's how they found out about each other. But he is very controlling and jealous, and I also think very insecure, which is another point that I will get into. um and so like that's how he came into like my life. Like, I knew him 10 years prior because he is my brother's friend. And so there's gonna be like a lot of karma that is attached from him to me. But he was running away from his situation with the other two moms and the baby coming, and I was like his scapegoat. But we weren't dating at the time. Like, I left the medical field. This was 2013. So I was depressed, really, for real, in real life. At that time in 2013, I was depressed because I left the medical field and I didn't know what to do in my life. Like, for the first time, I'm like, I don't want to go back to school. There's nothing I have interest in. And all my work history is in the medical field. Like, I don't know what to do. And I was already struggling with not feeling fulfilled money wise and title wise, even though I had a really good job. I worked at like the best hospital here. I thought I would be retiring from there and like that would be my story. And so he's the person who introduced me into like learning about business and stuff like that. And so we went on a business journey as friends, and then it just evolved from there. But I know now, because he told me several times, like, he just liked being at my place because it was peaceful. Nobody was telling him what to do, and he didn't have to deal with whatever they were saying about the situation that he created that he was running from. And at the time, I didn't care. Like, I let him stay at my house. I let him drive my car. Like, I slept all day, every day. I was really in a depression. So that's why I'm like, maybe, bro, if you tried this bullshit that you just pulled, If you would have did this in 2013 when I was really depressed, you probably, the end goal that he had for me most definitely would have worked because I was already in a dark place. I was already at a low place. But I wasn't just low. I was I was happy last year. I was like getting up. I was finally getting back dressed and trying to get outside because I had been inside for so long. So that's why I was like, when they were trying to tell me like, "Oh, you're depressed," I'm like, "No, I'm not." Like, I don't know what kind of word games they were playing, but thank you for elaborating on that. Thank you, Ribs. Thank you for the compliment. I like to just call them locks. Okay, so this brings me to my next point of guns and a machete. Before before he locked me up, I had noticed we had in the house we had machetes in every room, but like way up high, nowhere where my daughter could get them. And like my daughter was like 1, 2, 3, and she's small. Like my daughter, she never went in cabinets. Like I never had to lock anything because I just didn't experience that with my kid. I had noticed that all the machetes were gone. I didn't know where they were. I never asked him. I just noticed like, damn, they're all gone. And then I am licensed to carry, and I do have a gun. Now I do remember that like when I bought a gun, I was so excited, and I came and I showed him, and I was like, look, babe, look what I got for us. Like, because I wanted to like start building a gun collection, and I'm into going into the gun range and all of that. And I remember I showed him and talking about jealous. Instead of being like, "Oh, that's cool," like, yeah, like let's start building up a collection. He was just like, "You're selfish because you didn't buy me my own." And I was like, "What kind of response is that?" Like, he just killed the happiness that I had about like getting my first gun. But anyways, we had it and never had to use it or anything, and it was always in our room, and like the box that comes in up high. And when I had got out of therapy, I never checked for the gun. I've never used it. When I got out of this place, um, the night before I had to go, I mean the first day that I had therapy, which was 9/5/24, I went to therapy. I was telling this story the other day. I went to therapy, and I knew something was gonna happen to me. It was getting too strange. Like I said, I had been home for like 2 weeks, and like cops were harassing me when I was like just outside with my daughter. It was getting so strange. It wasn't getting better. And the night before, he had like force fed us, me and her, and gave her something, like knocked her out, and then made me watch that stupid episode of Big Mouth. And I was just like, oh, something's gonna happen to me tomorrow. I just knew it. So I put on the same dress. Anyways, when I got out of therapy, um, I was waiting for him to bring our daughter to the house, and he never came. And like an hour went by, and I was getting really anxious. And then he ended up FaceTiming me, and I answered. And instead of him saying like hi or whatever, before I could be like, what's going on? Like, where's our daughter? He was like, "Oh, good, you're home." And then somebody started banging on the door, and I was like, "It sounds like somebody. It sounds like the cops are banging on the door." And the cops came, and it was the cops, and they came, and they were asking me if I was who I was, and I'm like, yeah. And then they're like, oh, we got an anonymous mystery call that you're poisoning and endangering your 4 year old and 11 year old. And I was like, what? And that's not me, officer. And I said, first of all, I'm waiting for my 4 year old. I don't have an 11 year old, but my husband, who's not my husband, he has a 4 year old, an 11 year old, and a 19-year old that doesn't live here. And I don't know where the 11, no, stop, man. I don't know where the 11-year-old is. He's probably at school, but I've been waiting for over an hour for him to bring our daughter here, and she's MIA. I don't know where she is. And it was like a whole thing. And he stayed on the phone trying to yell through the phone, like, oh, she's bipolar and something's going on with her. And I just hung up. And I told the cop to call him on his own phone. And then I remember he called me back and was like, oh, nothing's going on. Like our stories met up or whatever. And then when I drove, he finally came back with my daughter freaking comatose. I couldn't wake her up. And he had just given her something else again. I drove to his mother's house. And when I went over there to fact check if my daughter had been there, guess who was there? His 11-year-old, who was supposed to be at school, which further let me know that him and his mother orchestrated this whole thing. They anonymously called the cops, trying to plant this story of like what they were doing, projecting it on me. Y'all are the ones poisoning your kids and your grandkids. Sick in the fucking head, yo. And so, anyways, after the cop left, I thought about my gun, and I got like, damn, it's not really locked out. Like I don't know what kind of games he's gonna play, so I'm gonna put it in the basement where it's really like out of the way where a kid couldn't quote unquote get it. And when I went to go get my gun, the clip was missing. So I was like, wow, here's this person. The machete's been missing around the house. And now the clip of my gun, which has always been here, I don't know how long this shit has been missing. And I remember I asked him about it, and he was just like, oh, yeah, I moved it for safety purposes. What safety purposes? And this is my gun. Like, what are you talking about? So when he talks about safety purposes, like you knew what you were doing. You don't know how I was going to take what you were doing or how I was going to receive what you were doing. So you were strategically removing things that I could use to harm you if I was that type of person. My mind doesn't work like that. I don't think about physically harming somebody. I don't think about trying to take someone's life. I don't think about those things. But those things happening let me know, like, yeah, you thought this plan through. You did all of these things because you think that I'm crazy and you think that I'm so moody that if I was able to connect the dots of what you were doing and what your family was doing, that I'll go eat shit Pam on y'all. And I'm just like, naturally, I wouldn't do that. Like, um, but the stuff of like what you're doing to my kid and the situation that I was in at the time, who knows? Probably no, thank you. Get your feet off of there, things. So that definitely certifies as to me knowing for sure that this was like you're creating a narrative and you took these things strategically because you knew that, oh, you know what, if she really finds out about what we're doing, my life might be in danger. So you tell me what you think. I'm not singing a song. I am doing well. My profile is very much interesting. Thank you, Arsh. I'm gonna get back to teaching on here. I'm wrapping up my series. But thank you so much for um checking out my profile. I hope you subscribe. Hello, Deb Dawn. Thank you for the comment, Rosabella. I like your name. Hi, I'm from India. My name is India. I'm not from India. My name is just India. Thanks for checking in from India. Hello, Mama. Am I talking about homicide? No. I have no idea what you're talking about. You think he's able to drug his kids, he's a danger to society. I think that something's really like going on with him, and whatever is going on with him, he doesn't want to admit it, he doesn't want to deal with it, and he just like tried to project it onto me. And then also, this whole like locking me up thing was like a ploy to be like, whatever happens, whatever the outcome was gonna happen to our kid, to be like, oh, the mom did it because she's bipolar and she can take her meds today. And so whatever he was trying to do to her was gonna be basically using us against each other, because I had even wrote in my day 16 journal, I had wrote this before all this came out to play. This was all after I got out the hospital, but I had wrote everything and I was telling them that this was going to happen and that this is the reason why they didn't believe me. But I said that like he wanted to lock me up and put me in jail and then put our kid in the system. And after I got out, I was like on the run, running for my life and asking anybody to help me and my kid, because that's exactly what was trying to happen. He was trying to lock me up, and then he even threatened, like, "Oh, I'm gonna go file a claim and put our kid in DCF," like all things just to try to harm me and hurt me. I don't know why, still to this day, because I really loved that man with my whole heart, and I just like never seen any of this playing out the way that it did. Interestingly enough, I had a cousin when I was pregnant who called me, and she told me, she was like, your relationship's not gonna work out. And she said that she seen me being really successful and that I was on TV getting awarded a big check, and I was there holding my kid. And at the time I was pregnant and I didn't know what I was having. I chose not to learn what I was having, but I knew in my heart I was having a girl. And I had asked her at the time, I'm like, "Oh, what did I have, a boy or a girl?" And she was like, "I don't know. It was kind of blurry." And then I asked about him. I'm like, "Oh, well, where was so and so?" And she was like, "That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, he wasn't there. Like, something's going to happen in your relationship. And he's just not supposed to be a part of your life moving forward. And he's not supposed to be a part of your success." And I cussed her out. We got into a whole thing. I was like, "You're just being a hater, blah, blah, blah. Like, my relationship's awesome and blah, blah, blah. And like, look what we're building." And I had to end up apologizing to her. Like, I owe you a really big apology after I got out and all this came to fruition. So let's move on to the next topic. Did you guys say anything else? Facts, yo. I definitely have to speak. I speak life and love over myself, over my daughter, and over people I rocks with. Um, the next topic, oh, friends. I talked about this yesterday briefly. Another thing that's confirmation that this was strategized. So when I got out, I was trying to explain to him. I wanted to talk to him. Like, he used to be my best friend. He's like literally my only friend and the only person I would talk to. So I was trying to share my experience of like the people that I met in there and like things that was happening. And I was like, "Look, all these people," which I still have them here in the notebook. I have all the numbers from the people that wrote their numbers down in my journal. Like, "Oh, call me. Like, let's hang out." And I was thinking to myself, like, "Oh, yeah, right. I'm not gonna ever see you people again. Like, I need to get out of here and get to my kid." But when I was trying to tell him that, he was just like, "Oh, you should call them. You should make friends with those people. Like, they want to meet your friends." And I thought for myself, "What the fuck are you talking about? Why would I be friends with people I met in a psych ward? First of all these people are addicts." And like every single person I asked, because they got out before me, I'm like, "What's the first thing you're gonna do?" Because that's everybody talked about that. Like, "Oh, I can't wait to get out of here." Mind you, all these people checked themselves in there. I'm the only person who didn't check myself into this crazy fucking place. And every person would be like, "Oh, I'm going straight to the liquor store. Or, I'm gonna do meth. Or I'm gonna do crack. Or I'm gonna do cocaine." I'd be like, "Oh snap!" Like, I'm the only sane person in here. Like, I want to get home to my kid, yo. And so when he said that to me, I'm like, "Why would I do that?" And he's like, "Because you want to be around people who are just like you, that struggle with emotions." And I was just like, I don't know what this ninja is talking about. But I'm not calling these people. I'm never gonna speak or see to these people ever again. I don't know what you're talking about. And he would try to like plant those seeds of like, "Yeah, you should reach out to them and like meet up with them." And I was like, "Okay." I just made like a mental note of it because I was like, "What the hell are you talking about? I have nothing in common with these people. I have nothing in common with them." And then he was like, "Yeah, they could be your new friends because you just spent so many weeks there with them. And then also you're about to go to therapy. So now you have a therapist friend." And it's like, what? So that's why I was just like, "Oh, you're really trying to make this my life. You're trying to make this be the be all, the end all." And I don't know what you're talking about, bro. But I'm not calling these people, and the therapist ain't my new fucking friend. Yo, it was just getting really, really wild. And before all of this happened, he literally was my only friend. Like, he isolated me. The isolation didn't start until really we started doing our own business and our own products and stuff. Prior to that, we were doing network marketing and a travel business. So we were always networking and hanging out with people and all that stuff. And I was very adamant of like making new friends. So it slowly started to become where he was just like the center of my life, and he's my friend, my business partner, father of my daughter, and best friend at this point in time. And then I'm trying to make you my husband. I'm trying to like be all this. And that's what they told me locked up. That's what they stressed. They were like, he wears too many hats in your life. And for me to stop talking about him, I'm like, how? If this person is my entire life, they're my everything, and they put me here, and I'm not understanding why they put me here and why they're so adamant about putting me on medication. What else do y'all want me to talk about? And then when I was shift the focus and talk about my daughter, they're like, don't talk about her, like focus on yourself. You have to admit that you're bipolar and you have a problem with your emotions. And I'm like, but my emotions again, the day that I got ripped off the street, I was happy. I was feeling like $1 billion. I was outside, I was with my daughter, I was finally free from not being in that damn house. So I don't know what you're talking about. But it's just a lot to unpack. Next I want to talk about the poisoning. So the before this, with the medication and like making me do double, triple dosages, before he was doing something to me, unbeknownst to me, I did not know. Okay. But there was something going on with my eye. And if you look at it, it's still not fully all the way open. But this eye was literally like like this. And I was like every day, like, oh my gosh, something's going on with my eye. And it slowly started. Like it was just like drooping, 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 and then it was like damn near closed. Like this time last spring, and then leading into there, I was in there looking crazy. And at first, I thought I had pink eye or I had a sty, and I would go and get it checked out, and they're like, "No, that's not what's going on." And then I was like, "Oh, maybe it's stress," because I was feeling stress. I was feeling around like demonic demon energy. I did not know where it was coming from. I never thought it was coming from this man that I've been with and his family, even though there was a lot of signs and red flags that I can look back on now. But at the time, I never pinpointed it on them. I really felt like it was coming from outside energies that were being filtered through them. And then I would try to talk to him about them, about like what I was feeling. And I'm an empath and I'm very intuitive. Things that he tries to like dismiss or tries to be like, that's crazy. But I'm always right about what I'm saying. Anyways, there was something going on with my eye. So he had been giving me something. And then when I would be like, look, babe, look at my eye, like, oh my gosh. And I was getting sad about it. And I'm like, so I'm like, everything's coming back normal. So what could it be? And he'd just be like, I think you look amazing. I don't see anything wrong with your eye. Motherfucker, I cannot even open this eye barely. I can barely even see out of it. And you're trying to tell me that I look like my normal self. And the more that I would look in the mirror, the more I was starting to not recognize myself. But I never thought it was him. I never thought, why would I think that's this person I'm building a life with? I never thought that, yo. But now I know. When you know better, you do better. So he was obviously giving me something prior in smaller dosages. So like, and it was affecting my eye. And even when at the beginning of the year, it was still looking that way. And I had went to an eye specialist, and they were telling me I had to get blood work done. And they were, I forget the terminology of what they used, but they were like, oh, you probably, if it's this, whatever he thought it was, that I was gonna need surgery on my eyes. And he was like, oh, well, I have to go in and operate on both eyes. And I was like, that was another thing that was like a wake up point for me to get away from him. Cause I'm like, I am not going through another surgery with this man. Because when I was bedridden with my leg surgery that he told me to get, because he was so being like, oh, I want your foot to heal. After I got the surgery, he didn't help me with anything. Like I was on crutches, I had a newborn baby, and I'll tell you one story. I had a newborn baby, and then it was just like breastfeeding, like you're leaking milk, you're smelling like milk all day. And I'd be like, I want to take a shower at some point today. So you're going to have to like sit with her so I can take a shower or help me because at that time I was in crutches, I had a cast. And he told me no. He was like, "You're a mom. You got to figure it out. Like, what would you do if I wasn't here?" That's what he would tell me all the time. And I'm like, "What do you mean? What do I do if you're not here? You're not. You're here, motherfucker. What are you talking about? I need help. I'm literally bedridden. I have a cast and I have crutches and I have a newborn. What do you expect me to do?" And he was like, "Figure it out." And he was like, "Put her in the car seat." So I would have to put my daughter in the car seat, get myself out of bed, and like walk with the crutches one at a time, pick the car seat up, move it, and do that to get myself into the bathroom. And then, like, hopefully she's not crying or needs anything while I hopped in the shower on one leg that I had to wrap with a bag so the cast didn't get. That's why I say this is my fault. I should have been left that man, left this relationship before I let him try to convince me that my brain is broken and sedate me and medicate me and a whole bunch of other shit. Um, yo, I could tell y'all so many stories. I told him I was a psychiatrist, and I realized how dumb they make me look when I talk about them because I dealt with them and I wasn't getting the signs no matter what he was saying or showing me. So let me read what y'all say. Hey, Chris. What's up, Chris? What's up? I'm good now, King Toxic. You can fix me, Jesse. How so? To be honest, sounds like he was telling you these lies of a narrative about you so he could do dirt behind your back without you questioning about him and keep getting more aware. Yes. So the other thing, now that you say that, that brings up another point. um, there would be things that he would say, yo. So like one day we were talking about like, oh, breaking up, not us per se, but we were just talking about other people breaking up because a lot of people around us was like breaking up and not together anymore. So we were having conversations about that. And he was like, "Dag, like I hope to like never break up with you because um starting over sucks." And at the time we were already dealing with a lot of stuff. So I was like, "Well, I don't have no problem starting over. I'm not afraid to start over." And he was like, "Oh, really? Like that terrifies me. Like, I don't want to start over." And he was like, "Honestly, I don't know why any of my relationships didn't work out." He was like, "I'd like to go back and ask my exes what I did wrong and how could I fix it." And I thought that that was strange. Like, what the fuck, you just told me that? And he's like so obsessed with these exes. That's what something I learned about narcissism. Like, narcissists are like, they're so obsessed with their exes and they're in competition and they're always keeping tabs on them. And he always had to be on the phone with them all the time, yo. There's a lot of stuff that I was just dealing with. Anyways, particularly leading to this point that I'm making is he was telling me, that's why I said I would never go on a man's phone. He was telling me that he was talking to a mutual person that we knew, and she had her marriage didn't work out. And he told me that he inboxed her and was like, "Oh, what how did he say it? Why would a man fumble such a amazing woman like you?" And I'm telling you, when he said that to me, I said, "Excuse me, why would you be inboxing so and so asking her why her marriage didn't work out and why somebody fumbled somebody so much so wonderful as her? Why would you even tell me that?" And he said, "Oh, I didn't mean it that way. We just used to date back in the day." And then I was just like, "You and her used to date? I never knew that." He was like, "Oh yeah, it was just for a little bit or whatever." But we were talking back and forth about that conversation, and then she had said that somehow she said she wouldn't give him another chance because she remembers how cheap he was, if her memory recalls right. And he was like, "Oh," once she said that, I was like, "Forget that beat because she shouldn't talk to me like that or something." But then I'm like, that was very eye opening to me. I'm like, why is you worried about why some other girl's marriage didn't work out? Then I do remember that of him telling me about other women that he'd be having conversations with. Now at the time, I'm not an insecure woman. Like I don't feel like just because you're in a relationship that you shouldn't socialize with the opposite sex or like people you knew before me. I think that that's controlling and insecure. So I don't feel that way. And also we had business and we networked with a lot of people. So when he's telling me that he talked to other women, it would always come across that he was talking to them about business and networking and stuff like that. But he would tell me that they would come back and be like, "Oh, what about India?" And I'd be like, "What do you mean? Like, why are they saying what about India?" And he'd say, "I don't know. These girls are dumb. Like, they think I'm trying to talk to them or something, and I'm not. I'm just trying to see where their mindset is and like if they would want to partner with us and do business and collaborations. Like, they're on some personal stuff." So I didn't really know how to receive that. I do know that some women do take things the wrong way. I don't know exactly how he was talking to them, but if you're talking to them how you were talking to this girl that you used to date and you worried about her marriage, I could see why they're saying, "Well, what about India?" So there was a lot of things. But yeah, whatever he was doing behind my back, I don't know. It'll come into fruition at whatever time. I don't even care no more at this point. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff. So I feel like he was doing a lot of dirt behind my back and like maybe it was coming to fruition. That's probably why he was isolating me in the house, wanting to keep me in a drugged up state all the time and like not talking and socializing to nobody. And he's very well known in our neighborhood. Like their family is huge and everybody knows them. So good points. Oh my God, hi girl, I remember you were you were at the park. Hi, Amaris and Isla. I remember y'all too. Yeah, I was at the park yesterday. I'm not at the park today. It's supposed to rain. Um, it's because I had this ex who always had an excuse for everything, and I was never able to go over to her house since we dated. But once we were single, she let me pull up to have sex. Weird, right? Very weird. People are weird, yo. You don't never know. You honestly don't never know. And then what I learned is, what are you doing, boo? What I learned is that the whole family will be on there. The whole family will like endorse the nonsense and the BS and like will smile on your face and have people come back. That's another thing. Like 5 years in, I should have been left this relationship. Like 5 years in, his aunts, they told me they didn't like me, which I had already was getting the feeling, but I was like, why? And they're like, "Oh, we don't try to get too close to the girls anymore because there's just so many." And I was like, what girls? What are you talking about? Like, I've been around for 5 years now, so I don't understand what this like weird old beef is. I don't and this old energy. Like, what is this?" And they're like, "Oh," they try to cover it up and be like, "Oh no, not now, but like prior." So it's hard for us to try to get accommodated to whatever girl he's talking to now because there's just been so many. But in the past, and me reflecting back on that, it's like, no, it wasn't in the past. This has been going on. I just been stupid. Just like at my baby shower, they didn't come. None of them came to my baby shower. And then one of his cousins came, and I remember her coming right up to me and she was like, "You're gonna leave my cousin." She was like, "You're gonna be super successful. You're gonna be like a multimillionaire, and you're gonna leave my cousin." And I was like, "Why are you saying that?" I was like, "No, I'm not. Like, I'm never gonna leave him. Like, he's the best thing." But I remember when she said that to me, I was asking her why she said that, and she wouldn't respond. And I was looking around looking for him, and he was nowhere to be found. But I didn't think nothing about it at the time because he's a smoker. So I just thought like maybe he's outside smoking. I don't know. Talking about this and saying this probably does make me seem like I'm an airhead and I'm stupid. But I be giving people benefit of the doubt, unfortunately. You end up with all the doubt and they end up with all the benefit. So there's a lot going on that people knew. And like when this came out, when I went public, when my life was in danger, um, all at the end of the year into the beginning of this year, it wasn't until I got myself out of the situation that people started becoming vocal and telling me stuff about like what he was doing and the type of person they always thought he was and like why was I with him, and a lot of people started being vocal. But at that time I didn't care. This was like March of this year and I was like, what? I just was like going batshit crazy on social media for like 2 3 months begging for people to help me, even longer than that because this all started in the summertime of last year. So whatever he was truly doing has never come out. Me and Chris had a whole conversation about bisexuality the other day, and I think that that's a very major. I thought of some more things, Chris, about that was suspect. Um, but like I said, that's all an assumption or allegation because I never caught him in the act with anybody. But there is a lot of stuff that I keep thinking about that I'm like, yikes! I don't know who I've been with, who I've been laying with, and that's why I was saying that I felt bad about like making him, like forcing him to be sexually active with me the last time that we were over a year ago. Next, I wanted to talk about how he told me I wasn't worth it. So I talked about the surgery already. When I got the surgery, he was very adamant. I talked to him about it prior, and I said, "Do you think like this is gonna be a lot? I'm gonna be really reliant on you. Are you gonna like be there for me to help me?" And I was already hesitant about how he treated me when I had his kid, in the hospital, telling me to use my call bell while he's sitting right there. He could help me with the things I was requesting. So he was like, "Yeah, yeah, no, you're my baby. Like, of course I'm gonna help you. Like, what kind of question is that?" And then once I had the surgery and I was asking for him to help me shower and like watch our daughter, then he told me that I was being selfish and that I shouldn't have got the surgery and that he's not my personal CPA and for me to figure it out because what would I do if he wasn't there? So that was before. And then while being locked up, he told me on the phone when I had to call him, he told me that he didn't think I was worth coming to visit. He didn't think I was worth driving an hour away where he sent me to come visit. Oh my gosh. My love, thank you for combing my hair. Stay on this side, boo. Um, that he didn't think I was worth it. And I was like, wow, what kind of husband? Who my husband tells me that they don't think I'm coming over to visit. And on top of that, I was waiting for clothes. Like I was there with no clothes. So he didn't think I was worth it bringing me any clothes. He didn't think it was worth it driving to come see me. And it was just not on his to-do list. That's what he told me. So I was like, wow. Oh, and and before locking me up, another thing right before he locked me up, we had gotten to it, and he had told me that he'd leave me and his daughter, one, because he was trying to go to the West Coast to go hang out with another guy that we both knew, that we met through business. Um, and that he had no problem leaving me and his daughter because I had nobody. And like, what would I do? That's what his exact words was like. What would you do? You have no one, you have no friends, you have no money, you're just a mom. I'll leave you and her. I don't give a fuck. And then his exact words was, I'm a selfish NIGGA kangaroo. That's my replacement word for the N word, kangaroo. And I can elaborate what I mean by that as I found out an interesting fact about kangaroos that goes right along with men who consider themselves niggas. And I hate that word, with a passion. And I asked him for like 10 years to please stop referencing himself as that. But I remember he told me that. And that was all before. So, like I said, I'll eat this out because I should have known better. And then I want to talk about commit versus commitment. Hello, Risha. Thank you for joining. So, this person who I spent 11 years was birthed three businesses for and almost three kids, but only got one to show. Never committed to me, but then tried to have me committed, which I think was the weirdest thing. Like, I got no ring, I got no marriage, I got nothing to show for it. And the thing about it is, I was okay with like not getting married and not having a ring or none of that stuff. When he would talk to other people and they'd be like, "That's a good girl. Like, why don't you marry her?" He would say because I'm trying to build her a business first. I'm trying to build her an empire first. Once we get to the money, then I'm gonna marry her. And at the time, like I said, I told you I'm not materialistic or money hungry or any of those things. I was okay with that, and it made sense to me at the time. Of like, yeah, like we're focused on building a business and creating a legacy and breaking generational curses. Like, I don't care if like rings are for other people, marriages for other people, so that they feel validated for how long you've been with somebody. So it was never a top priority thing on my list. And I was so caught up in the business. Like that was the funnest thing about our relationship is building a business together. So I was totally okay with that. But now reflecting on that, I think it's weird that I was your ride or die and I showed up and I did all these things. I built all these things for you with my brain that works totally fine that you try to say it's freaking broken. And instead of committing to your ride or die, your partner, your helpmate, you try to have me committed for a weird narrative and a weird agenda. Hi, Nina. Thanks for checking in. Um, Another thing I wanted to talk about or talk about commitment is no, thank you. No, thank you. While we're talking about commitment, um, after I had got out, he had told me he was hanging with his friends, and this particular friend was the friend that he came to purposely show me acting a fool up in that hospital at the first hospital here. And I was like, oh shit, so and so is here. Why the hell would you come bring this person to see me in this state? Like, why would you do that? Which made me think about like, I'm always in a vulnerable state dealing with other people, specifically men that I'm associated with through him. And these people talk to me and do things to me, and he never protects me. He never stands up for me. And he always taking the man side when they're clearly wrong. We've had three different businesses encounters. So the person he was trying to get to the West Coast with, that person who would say things in front of him on the phone, like regarding me, like making passes at me and stuff, he never would check him. And I'd be like, you don't see what's going on here? Like, he never checked him. And I want to talk about it. Like, why do you let people disrespect me? He never said anything about it. And then there was another person in business who was supposed to be our mentor and our coach who would do things to me intentionally, like to get a rise out of me, like to make me cry, or to just like be disrespect me. And we'd be on a business call in front of other people. And he wouldn't say nothing. And then we'd talk about it in private or like hang out with this person separately. And I'd be like, are you ever gonna stand up for me in front of this person? Like I have no problem standing up for myself. I'm very vocal and saying what, but I was like, damn, my man like never protects me or never. And then when I talk about how people make me feel or things that they do regarding these men, he takes the man side. So that's why I think that's another thing that's strange. But this particular friend that he brought to see me at the hospital, after I got out, and I was just like under the influence. So maybe he said this to me because he think I'm paying attention. But they were having a conversation, and so this is another thing that dawned on me because they were having a conversation like they always do. Because this friend is with his longtime girlfriend. He's never gonna marry her, and they have about like 10 kids together, and he cheats on her all the time. And so he's always bragging about this new girl that he bagged and like how he spent all his money on her, bought her a bag or some clothes or took her on a fancy date or whatever. And he it made me think about like you all your friends that you hang with all cheat on their main girl. And you're supposed to be the only person that's just sitting around and you don't have any stories to share. That's what really stuck out to me. And then also he told him like, oh, well, you're stupid. Like, I don't do any of that stuff for India. Like, I don't take her out. I don't buy her anything. I don't take her out on dates. I don't do anything for her. And when he said that, I was just like, You're right. You don't. Why am I accepting that? One, it was never really a requirement for me. Like I probably will probably be the best relationship girl wise any in comparison to any other girl because like I'm not caught up in the holidays. Like I don't really celebrate the holidays, so I never looked for like a Valentine's Day present or Christmas. Like I did want him to celebrate my birthday, and then when I became a mom, I wanted to be celebrated on Mother's Day. But I never was into like any of the other holidays, so he never had to. I didn't have those typical requirements that most women have. And then I did want to be dated and courted. We did that a lot in the beginning, and then that just like went to nothing after probably I could even say 2016 because he did take me on a cruise and I had never been on a cruise before. So like when we were doing the travel business, that was probably the most highlight of our stuff, and then everything just stopped. Like I never really got taken out or doing things, and then if he did buy me stuff, it was always stuff that I didn't want or wasn't into or didn't like, or he'd get me stuff that he was into. Like on my birthday, the last time it was my birthday, he took me to the casino. I don't gamble. I don't even like gambling. Or he buy me like liquor or weed, or like things that I don't even do. I'm not into. So I was just like, yeah, why am I accepting this? Why am I dealing with somebody that doesn't date me, doesn't buy me anything, doesn't take me anywhere, and then if they do, it's things that I'm not into. Did you not have any family nearby post pregnancy? Yeah, I have family. I have a lot of family. I have nothing nice to say about them. They didn't help me and my daughter in a crisis, yo. They went about their day. So family isn't. I don't really. My family didn't help me. They don't care. Thank you for the compliment, Connie. I really appreciate that. Um, the few other things I wanted to talk about was another point of how this was intentional. When the three times that I talked to him when I was locked up, that I had to call, that I had to call him 30 times each time before he picked up the phone. I inquired about my kid, like what's going on with my daughter. Like you're not giving me any updates. You're not telling me what's going on with her. I don't know where she is. I don't know if she's safe. I don't know anything. Like my mind's thinking a million different things, especially regarding his mother, who been wanting to put hands on my kid for a long time. So he wouldn't tell me anything. He would just all he would say is, "You better hurry up and get home. She's getting sick. She's getting sicker by the day." Who says that, yo? Because you're making her sick. After I had got out, um, you ever watch Acrimony? No, but that's what Taraji, right? I never watched it, but I am familiar with the movie. Should I watch it? I'm your favorite black lady. Okay, Pero. Thank you. Is there really? Don't tell me that. I'm petrified of bugs. Anyways, when I had got home, it had been like 2 weeks had passed, and I always call my daughter so many little nicknames, but I call her my pretty princess all the time. And so he was just like, "Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, while you was away, every day she'd be walking around saying my pretty princess, my pretty princess." When he said that, I got pissed. I said, "Why did you not tell me that any of the times I talked to you on the phone?" What is you talking about, bro? There's no bugs here. There's marks on the wall. I don't know what bug you're seeing, but there's no bug. But thank you. All right. Anyways, um, I have to check it out, Chris. I'll watch it. I never watched it. Oh my gosh. No, there is not, bro. There's fucking Band-Aid on the poster. I don't know what you're seeing. Anyways, you're distracting me from my point. Um, so I was like, why wouldn't you have told me that on the phone? Because him knowing me knows that that would have instantly calmed my mood down instantaneously. Because he would have given me some kind of update and it would have brung me to Wusa to like let me. All he said is, "Oh, it slipped my mind," and I'm like, "It didn't slip this nigga's mind, yo. You purposely did not tell me that," and that further proves that my daughter was looking for me. She was literally looking for me, and you didn't tell me. You didn't give me an update about my kid at all. Like all you told me is like, "Hurry up and go home because she's getting sick. You better hurry up. You better hurry up and find a way to get out of there because she's getting sick, yo." What the hell? So I was just like, oh, yeah, this has been intentional. And like, you're not going to keep medicating me and keep me isolated in this fucking house, yo. Because now this is like, I've gotten out and nothing that the doctor said came to fruition. Nothing is getting better. I'm still back. It's almost like I just left and I was like on this magical vacation. And then I came back to the same hell of me doing everything by myself with my kid, and you're not here. Or if you are here, you're locking yourself away from us, watching porn or whatever you're doing on your two phones, working them phones, and the workload, you're still expecting me to do all the house stuff, you're still expecting me to be a maid, you're still expecting me to do all the laundry, you're still expecting me to like make lavish meals, and now you don't even eat with us, so, like making me put them in the microwave and you get them whenever you want to get them at 3 o'clock in the morning when you're done hanging out with your loser friends. Like, and now I'm medicated, and now everybody knows about what happened to me based on your narrative, and everybody thinks that I'm crazy, and now I'm just sedated every day and still have to keep up with all this shit you put on my plate. What the hell is this? This is not gonna be my life, yo. Hey, you leave that dude in the past. He don't even like women. I know, Chris. Tomorrow's the last day. Tomorrow's day 19. On day 19, I got out. So tomorrow will be my last journal entry. And I'll be wrapping up this series and moving on. This was just a therapy session for me. Honestly, I didn't know so many people would be invested or get in or tune in or give me. I didn't know that. I just did what God told me to do, which is like, now I need to talk about this because I don't want this to be years later and I'm still being like, oh, guess what? One of my exes did to me and I never got over it. Like, so this was a therapy session, and like, I'm happy that tomorrow's the last day. And I've learned so many lessons about this that I could use them as teaching points. So he will no longer be the focal point after tomorrow. But I have so many lessons that I have extracted from this and just my 11 years of doing business and networking and meeting different people and becoming a mom and going through all this with like special needs daughter and then all this stuff. Like, I have so many lessons that I can turn into um, talking points here on my channel. So that's what I plan to do. So tomorrow will be the the last day of me talking about this ex of mine. But I do agree with you. Beanie plays high. Can I have some girl advice? Sure. On what? Just go to the gym and you will feel better. Yes, I've been working out. I haven't made it back to the gym, but I have been walking and getting my 10,000 steps. Excuse me. Hi, Sarah Niche. Who's watching porn? Oh, my ex. He was addicted. Hi, Raja. No, don't wrap it up. But he messed up. Oh, you don't want me to wrap up the series? Come on, Chris. Well, what I mean, this went on. So this after I got out, tomorrow's the last day. I officially had got released from the hospital tomorrow, and then so much stuff happens from that day all the way until March of this year. So you want me to show up here every day and go into everything that happened every single day? I could. It's all up here. My brain is a database, but I think I'm just gonna Tomorrow will probably be the longest I'll be on doing a live to like word vomit and get it all out there. And then I'm just gonna show up here still as my authentic self and just extract different things that I want to talk about and use them as lessons and talking points. All valid things, all intriguing things, all interesting things that I can use as my own personal lesson plans. So, Ryan, I'm gonna get you out of here, bro, if you do not stop. Hi, Frank. How are you doing today? Thanks for checking in. Tell him, Chris. Yeah, I am because she used to call me a kangaroo. I know me and Chris did not start off on a good start. And Chris, oh, I'll do that. I'll be doing a segment on like my kangaroo theory and explain it. um, Hi, Sir Jerry. All right, I'm reporting you. I just told you to stop. What I've learned about the reporting button works awesome. Report somebody a couple one too many times and they don't show up. They get off and they come correct. Um, what else? Oh, still on this man. So I got two more points, then I'm gonna wrap it up because we gotta go eat dinner. Thank you, Sir Jerry. I want to talk about how I think that he was insecure, and it really didn't hit me until maybe like my daughter was 3. I didn't know how deep of his insecurities is. And so like we talked about the theory about like maybe he's into like being bisexual. I don't know. But I definitely know for sure there was some insecurities he was dealing with because like I teach myself different languages and I've been teaching myself Spanish forever. And every single day for years, every time he would catch me practicing Spanish, he would say jokingly, he'd be like, "Oh, let me find out you trying to learn Spanish so you can leave me for a Spanish man." And at first, for a long time, I laughed it off. Like, I don't even like Spanish, man. What are you talking about? Like, why would you say that? Like, you're my person. I would always like reassure him that I spent a lot of time reassuring this man and boosting his ego, and it just was never enough because he's just a glutton. Like, you could never fulfill an empty hole, yo. But I was just like, why he keep saying that to me? Like every time I'm practicing Spanish, and then like my daughter's into watching different languages, and he'd be like, "Oh, she's watching this in Spanish or Chinese," or and he's like, "Turn it off." I don't let people kill my daughter's curiosity, not even her father. So I'd be like, "You don't know what she understands," and she'd be speaking the languages back and repeating the stuff immaculately. And I'm like, "No, this is why I'm an adult still trying to teach myself languages because I was into languages when I was little. Maybe you want to call that being on the spectrum. I don't know, but you're not gonna kill my daughter's curiosity, and just because you don't understand it, you're not gonna make her not watch it." But he would always say that. Let me find out you're trying to leave me for a poppy. Let me find out you're trying to learn Spanish so you could go be with a Spanish man. So like, oh my gosh. So I started to get like real crazy. And then when I got a degree, when I was getting my degree, he was like, "Oh, you're just trying to level up your life so you could eventually leave me." And I'd be like, "Why do you keep saying stuff to me like that? Like, I'm not gonna leave you. Like, why do I have to keep reassuring you that I'm not gonna leave you, that I'm in love with you, and I want to be with anybody else? Like, what is this?" And he'd be like, "Now I just think like if you get to a level of success, like you're gonna end up leaving me." He'd always be telling me like, "I think you're gonna end up leaving me," because now all of this stuff happening, I know that you knew what you were doing behind my back. I still don't know for facts of what you were doing behind my back, but it had to be so much stuff and so bad that you're like, yeah, whenever she finds out what kind of piece of shit I am, like she's gonna leave me. Um, and then he would always like when we would do business and like I'd be networking with people. It was okay when I would network with women, but when I would network with men, he'd be like, "Oh, you're trying to talk to them because they got more money than me, and you're gonna leave them. You're gonna leave me for one of them because they have more money." And I'd be like, "But money doesn't even move me. Like I don't care about somebody's money." So in the conversation, I would just like keep it like that. Like, I don't care about people's money. It wasn't really as urgent when I'd be like, "Dad, this person keeps saying like weird stuff to me because they're insecure." I even asked him. I ended up even asking him like, "Are you insecure?" And right away he was just like, "Why are you asking me?" Like this was after, even after the hospital thing, because I was just trying to figure out like why is things getting progressively worse. And then I started thinking about that of like, oh, he's always saying stuff about me gonna leave him and for another man or for a Spanish man or a man with more money or a man that, or he would say like he didn't want to get too successful in our businesses because he felt that if we both became successful, that obviously that would introduce us to other people, like, more levels, more devils, and that I would leave him for somebody more successful. It was always a thing. I would just be like, "Yo, bro, I don't know how to get it in your head that I don't want to be with anybody else but you. Like, why do you keep saying this to me?" So when I asked him if he was insecure, he was just like, "Oh," really quickly. He was like, "Oh no, why you say something like that?" And I'd be like, "Because I just you say things to me and I don't understand where they're coming from, and I always have to keep stroking your ego and keep giving you more reassurance, more like I'm exhausted with this reassurance. So are you insecure?" And he'd be like, "No, I'm not insecure," but it was a lie. At the very least, he wanted you to contradict his insecurities so he could throw it back at you and guilt trip you when you did inevitably end it. You right. You right. Because that's his story that he tells to everybody now. And he's like, "Oh, India left me. She took my kid away from me in the middle of the night, and I don't know why. She just up and left and took my kid." And I could wish I could be a fly in the wall to understand, like, if anybody has the common decency to be like, "Well, why did she leave? What happened? Like, what are you saying?" I could just imagine. I don't even care, but very much so. So everything's my fault. Everything that went bad in the relationship is my fault, and it's everything's my fault. And he just uses this as fuel now to be like, "Yeah, I knew she was gonna leave me because she didn't really like me or she wasn't into me." That's what he will tell people, even now to this day. Um, you have a question 000111, bro? Y'all need better names. What's your question? Um, sounds like a horror movie, yo. Right, Chris. That's why I said I'm gonna make a documentary, a docu series of my own lifetime movie, but this is a true story. The money wasn't the problem. Yes, Keith, I subscribe to your channel too. Um, yeah, that's what I had figured out. And I was like, going through this situation, I was like, yo, if we really would have touched that paper that he wanted, I don't know what that man would have did to me. You would have had so many access and options and money. You really could have put me in a incompromisable situation that I wasn't even fathoming. That's why we hit a plateau in business because I was like, we were having so much success and then it just stopped. And then I would get so many opportunities. Like people would reach out to me. I had two millionaires reach out to me wanting to do business with me. And I met with them first by myself. And it got to a point where I was dragging him along, like, "Oh no, like meet my husband. And like, this is my business partner. And he's the other half of my business." And like as soon as I would introduce him to like people that were solely seeking me, they wanted nothing to do with what we were talking about. And I would get upset. I'd be like, "Doc, like why isn't this working out?" I never thought it was him, yo. I always tried to do everything with him. And the more I tried to do everything with him, the more it became like, "You don't care about me. You don't love me. You're not trying to work with me and build with me." And it would just be it was too many mind games. Um, and then also he doesn't know how much money he wants. He never even had a money goal. So that's what I'm saying. Like he put it on me. And then once I came up with the money goal and I was fixated on that money, all of a sudden he's like, "Oh snap, she's going crazy because she's talking about numbers." Like, what the fuck is money? It's numbers. Like, what are you talking about? And so money's never gonna make him happy. Nothing's gonna make him happy. He's dealing with a lot of trauma. I will give him that. And I was willing to work on his trauma. Yeah, I was willing to work on it with him and like help him through it. But you can't help somebody that doesn't want to admit that they have trauma and that they need to work on it. And I can't force it. He would just tell me like, "You can't make me change." So he would just tell me all the time, and like I wouldn't hear it or I didn't accept it. And then he doesn't know how much money he wants. So you're right. Money wasn't the problem. He was the problem. And I would tell him like, "Oh, you speak things into existence and God is always blessing you and you're never happy." That relationship with him reminded me of like a kid on Christmas. It was like every time we got an opportunity or a level up, it was almost like a kid at Christmas that like waited all this time to get this one toy and then they opened it up and they play with it for 5 minutes and then they are off of it when they were just so like wanting it and feeling like it was going to make their life better and then they got it and then they were over it in 5 minutes and then they're on to something else. That's how he was with every opportunity that God gave him and every level up that God gave him and every blessing and all the success we had in our business. He was never satisfied with it. So it doesn't matter if we would have touched millions, he still wouldn't have been happy. He still would have probably made my life a living hell. So yeah, in my business, we call that the surface reason. Facts. If you don't have to be rich to be your man, then I'm the one for you. Okay, Sir Jerry, I don't care about money. But money is important. It ranks right up there with oxygen. You do need it. But it's not something that I be like, oh, I like this person because of how much money they make. Like that, I'm just not superficial like that. Money was the leverage of the control. Yeah, that was what he was trying to lead me with. Like, I'm a man. Like, let me lead. And I did let him lead me. But where the hell did you lead me to? To a fucking psych ward, bro. And then on top of that, you didn't have a real goal or aspiration for yourself. It was just a circle, a mind game of being like, well, what do you want to do? And then the more that I came up with ideas and stuff, the more he was trying to downplay it and say, like, that was stupid. It was a lot. I think people much more careful about crossing boundaries than we give them credit for. Facts will take whatever explanation about a breakup that someone is willing to give, truth or not. Facts. I don't know what he's telling people about me. I'm out here sharing my truth. He can tell people whatever he wants. That's the thing that really hurt my feelings. Is that because I was like, why is everybody believing that I'm crazy? And why is everybody believing that I need medication? And why is nobody shocked about me being gone? Like I just disappeared. And everybody's just acting like, oh yeah, like that was normal. That was something that happened before, and it was no shock factor, no urgency. And I had learned, I didn't learn until I ran and went to his mom's house about how much of a narrative that he had been creating about me well before. So I thought we were planting business seeds together because we were talking about our bamboo tree. I thought we were planting all these business seeds of positivity and abundance and legacy together. I was doing all that shit on my by myself. He had been planting all these seeds about me, about being sad, about being depressed, about having no goals, no ambition, being lazy, being unfit. He had been planting all of these seeds. So like when this happened, it was almost like a I told you so, which makes me think about another fact. After I had got out and he had me under surveillance with his loser ass friends that he gave my number to that was checking in every day with me, he had said something very important. He was like, oh, you know, when you was gone, now there is a couple that he was trying to make me hang out with as another couple. Now, this couple is into polygamy, okay? I'm not into that shit. He wanted me to hang out with them, and I was like, "Nah, I don't hang out with people that don't do things that I don't associate myself with." And he just like stressed that we should hang out with him, and like the guy was like his man's, and like the girl I knew her, she used to do yoga classes, and I wanted to get to like one of her classes, but like to hang out with whatever else they did on the side, I wasn't into that. But he told me that when I was locked up, that they were telling him, "Oh, you better go down to the courthouse and try to get sole custody of your kid because when she gets out, she's gonna have your head." When he told me that, I didn't say anything. I thought to myself, if this was not strategized and orchestrated, why would somebody tell you that? Like, if you're out here, because that was my argument with him, like, why are you out here telling my personal business? I don't like that. Now that I'm sharing it publicly, I don't care. But I don't like that. Like when something's going on personally, I want it to stay behind closed doors or just between my safe space person or people. You're out here just telling anybody. He was just on the phone gossiping like a bitch, yo. Gossiping to anybody, like, oh, you heard what happened in India? Oh, she had a nervous breakdown. Oh, she's got mental issues. Oh, this. And I'm like, damn, like, you're really my worst enemy. Like, and he knows how I feel about that shit. So I was just like, why are you out here telling everybody what's going on with me? And then you wasn't calling and checking in with me, this person that you're so concerned about. You calling everybody else and out here gossiping about me, planting your seeds and creating a narrative instead of being concerned about my well-being. But I just thought about, like, if I really had an issue and something really devastating like this happened to me, why would that be your friend's concern? Why would it be like go down to the courthouse and try to get full custody of your kid because when she gets out, she's gonna be mad? Why would I be mad if I was really having a nervous breakdown or I was really having a mental health crisis and I really needed help? Why would I be mad and why would your friends be telling you to go try to get custody of your kid, full custody? That don't make no sense. Another point of how this show was orchestrated, because the truth, they know the truth, their friends know the truth. And even before, another friend, he tried to put in my head about how somebody can just go crazy overnight. Him and his other friend. And did I ever hear or understand or think that that was possible, how somebody could just lose their mind overnight? Fuck no, that's not possible unless they're under the influence of something, and I don't do drugs or drink or do nothing. So it was a lot of like little things before and after. So this live was about before and after red flags and discrepancies. I bet you 100 that he's trying to come back. I don't know what he's trying to do, Chris. I know that he texts me at least once a week and is like tries to use his daughter as a ploy. He tries to be like, um, I need to give him updates about what she's doing and like what she's eating. And there's a whole thing like she just got out of summer school and he's not helping me. Like I ain't trying to figure out how to get her back and forth. And I'm starting my life all over from scratch with nothing. I left everything. I left the house, the cars, the trailer, business, everything. So I'm literally starting over and going through a lot worse things than I should honestly have to. And he it's almost like he wants like he's my boss and I have to check in with him and give him updates. And I'm not doing that. That's how he trains the other moms. And that's another thing that kept me in the loop because I'd be like, well, he's involved in his kid's life because he always knows about what the kids are going on. But now that I'm the mom and I've just went through this with him, I know his little tricks and games. Like I'm not giving you updates so that you can talk to somebody else and make it seem like you're so presently involved because you're not. Like, look, it's just been a month. You should be reaching out to me and being like, hey, the summer's out. Like, I want to go do this with her, or I want to take her here. He's not that type of dad. He's not a hands on dad. He got mad because I called him a high bye dad. I was just living with you and it was very high bye. So it's even more high bye the random times that I have to go to the trailer to get my stuff and he sees her. He literally just says hi and bye. There's no worried about like how tall she's getting or anything. There's no investment. But he'll try to remind me like, "Oh, you're the one who left. You left me. I didn't leave you. I told you that I still wanted to be with you." So I ain't hearing that shit, yo. I went to his mom's house begging him to talk to me while I was there for the 6 weeks. And instead, he told me to talk to my phone. And I'm from the fucking 80s. This phone shit is new. I hands on in person type of person, and that's what my relationship was built on. It was very much intimate and hands on and face to face, not talk to a phone. I will strangle you through this. So I don't know what he's trying to do, but I don't swing the block. Like I gave him ample time to deal with what was going on and to address and to talk to me, and that time has been surpassed. So I don't really wish him anything. I hope that he gets help. I hope that he admits that something's going on with him, and I hope that he deals with his trauma, yo. And I hope that he finds His mom, because that's who he's looking for. He's looking for his mom, yo. And I ain't his fucking mama. What's up, Auntie? Philip Blue. Are you my nephew? If not, I ain't your auntie, but what's up? Always meet business partner in places they're not familiar with. I share methods to heal, but they must be wanting to be healed. Facts. Interesting that people counted you out once meeting him. Clearly, they questioned your judgment and didn't see in him what you saw. Listen, yo, the amount of people, I was just like, damn, my entire relationship, the amount of people that was like, why are you with him? What do you see in him? He's no good for you. And I just felt like people were hating. I was like, damn, like people are trying to take this good thing from me. But every single person, my family, his family, after went through this, some people in his family came to me and was like saying stuff like they didn't see it working and they're like hoping that I didn't have a baby with him. A lot of shit came to the surface. And then just like even people in business, like, but they were men that were saying it to me. So I thought that they were like trying to come on to me, but they were just like, what do you see in him? And then like the mentor person I was telling you about, he was jealous because like one day we were going on a business trip with him and I had came downstairs first and he was taking forever to come. So I was like, oh, I'm about to call him. And he seen my phone and I had him in my phone as Mr. Perfect. And he got so mad. He was like, oh my gosh, like I got to talk to my wife now because what is he doing that I'm not doing that? You are calling this me a Mr. Perfect and my wife doesn't even talk to me that way. Like, I didn't think nothing of it at the time, but there was always somebody that was hating. At least I felt that way. But going through this, I'm like, oh, I could see now that a lot of people could see some shit that I wasn't able to see. And a lot of people, he knows a lot of people. So there are a lot of people that know him to the core. And that's probably why a lot of people told me not to date him. And I just didn't listen, you know. Hello, pretty. Are you American? Yes, I am. How are you doing? Ascar. Malcolm X said we should learn to live as separate groups of people and learn to live on earth together in peace as a mass, but as separate as people. Wow, that's powerful. I didn't know that he said that. And I fucked with Malcolm X. So thanks for sharing that. The financial side and emotional side are two different sides, but connected. Tell me about it, Keith. Hey, hello, Saddam. Hi, Troy. What do you desire your life to be like? Is the most important question. Oh, I desire my life to be a lot of things. I desire which is in my purpose and in my path, which I wasn't in agreement with until like becoming a mom and then going through the situation, which is being a humanitarian and a philanthropist. That's what everything about me and my life tells me I'm supposed to be doing, and I wasn't in agreement with it for a long time. That's probably why I've been out of alignment for so long. Um, get the fuck out of here, Philip. I'm gonna report you if you keep doing this dumb shit. A con will cold read his mark well. You got that right. Very much a con artist and a manipulator and a narcissist. Hi, you like me, Troy? Thank you. I mostly enjoy making people feel awesome for no reason and ever increasingly my sessions are $200 YouTube. Cool. But thanks for shouting out your business. Hope some people connect with you. I will at a later time. You should listen to All Is Soft Inside by Aura. Okay, I will. Let me take a screenshot of that. As you breathe in your healing, you automatically and naturally adapt and provides an overcome to naturally avoid harmful intentions with every healing breath. Yes, so I need to get back into my yoga. I very much believe breath is the life of the body. A part of you already knows this space reflects all harmful intentions with the unease you didn't respect. Yo, shorty, let that energy go. Chris, this is my way of letting that energy go, bro. I have to talk about it. I have to get it out so that it doesn't haunt me for the rest of my life. So this is my way. I told you tomorrow's the last day. I'm wrapping it up tomorrow. So tomorrow will be my last day of this energy and like letting it go. Hi, Axis. I don't know how to say your name. Arnard. Hi. What's up, Buki? G Star. What's up? As you enjoy your path to letting go of the things that no longer serve you, you enjoy walking in your strength and beauty with every healing breath. Yes, I do. Um, the last thing I wanted to say about that man and my journey with him is I already talked about the credit that he never gave me credit. Um, for anything in our relationship, he just blamed everything on me and how I need to do more and show more and stroke his ego more and love him more and improve to him more and reassure to him more and never give me credit for the shit that I built um, with him. He never gave me credit. And on top of that, he is demanding. So that's another thing, Chris, is that he has been demanding in when he texts me that that I'm creating a narrative about him and saying things that are half truths, which are not true. Everything I'm saying are full truths. And that I'm not talking about things that he has done for me and I'm not giving him credit. And the thing about that is that there is 10 years on Facebook and Instagram of me doing nothing but giving him credit. So I don't have any fucks to give. I'm fresh out. I'm not giving any more credit to a person that just like psychologically tried to destroy me and emotionally and mentally and physically. That's the other thing. What do you guys think? This person told me, I use it as a teaching point. This person said that I didn't go through domestic violence because it only happened 2 times. So, how many times does a man have to put his hands on a woman for it to be considered domestic violence? So, no, I'm going to talk about the real things that have been going on. And I'm no longer giving credit where credit is not due. I've been giving you too much credit that you didn't earn, to be honest. So if anybody wants to check out the credit, I've never deleted anything. Go to my Facebook and go to my Instagram. It's 10 years of credit and praise. 10 years. So that's what I'm saying about like this gluttony. Like there's never enough energy and love and reassurance. And like the lottery. Oh, I didn't touch on the lottery. The lottery ticket. Well, first when I was talking about the lottery, right? Thank you for the comment, Chandelier. Chandler? Sorry, I think I said your name wrong. I apologize. Thank you for the compliment. Unless she likes it. Unless she likes what? Domestic violence? Hell no, I don't like that. Change of behavior is the only acceptable apology. Tell me that. I've been dealing with people my whole life that think that the more time passed, then that's the apology. I don't got time for that shit. But I used to praise him. Go on my Facebook. Go on my Thank you. Thank you for being understanding. I give him 10 years of praise. And then even in the last 3 or 4 years, I was just like, oh, I feel like I hit the lottery. Because I just felt like the pressures of like people trying to break us up, being jealous of us. I was just like, damn, I hit the lottery. Like I have this amazing man, I have this amazing daughter, and everybody's trying to make me think that something's wrong with my relationship, wrong with my daughter, and just trying to make my life a living hell. So I'm going to flip it and be positive and find the aspects. And so that's where the whole lottery thing came from. Of like, I hit the lottery. Like, yo, if you lock in with me, like I figured out the number that we can make, the amount of money that we're going to make. I already wrote out our lifestyles. If people are mad, let's make them madder. Like I was on that type of energy. And so that's where the lottery thing came in. And then the actual lottery ticket shit came from him locking me up and taking my lottery tickets. Still this day, I don't know what he won on that ticket, but he told me only one of them was a winner. So I give him all the praise that I'm going to give him. I'm not going to give him any more praise. And I've just been telling my truth. And he doesn't like that. So he texts me to tell what he's done for me and his daughter, which is run errands and buy Pampers. I don't care about that shit. I don't care about no fucking errands. Where is the hands on help? Where is the fucking help at, bro? I've had so many hard days with this girl, yo. So, no, I don't care about what you're talking about. All right, the nervous system is my favorite gaming system, my strong and resourceful friend. I need a whole nervous system reset. My nervous system is out of whack. So if you specialize in that, I'll definitely. I already subscribed to your channel. I'll definitely do that. My last thing that I'm gonna touch off, and then I'm really gonna get off. I really fucks with y'all for fucking with me though. um, is death. So when I escaped and went to his mom's house for the first escape, um, it was solely because like his dad was getting sicker and sicker, so we knew that he was gonna pass at any time, and I'm like, shouldn't you be going over there, spending time over there? Shouldn't we be hanging out over there? Even though there was like underlying beef between me and his mom, I'm like, just bring your daughter. Like, shouldn't she be spending time with her grandparents? Like, and they didn't like my daughter. They treat her like crap. And when we went there, I got the worst behavior from the grandma and the granddad. Anyways, I don't need to get into those stories. I guess that I could if you want me to. But long story short, his dad ended up passing away just like 2 months ago, maybe. And that is something else that I was disgusted by him because he was reaching out to me to like, oh, could you? I'm having a hard time. Can you stop by to talk to me? So I would go by to get some of my stuff out the trailer and then just be like, check in, like, how are you doing? How are you feeling? Because I'm not an a-hole, you know. I'm just trying to be consoling and trying to be considerate. Like, this is a person that I still deeply care about. And he didn't want to talk to me. He was trying to make me be a warm body for him. Like, oh, I'm having a hard time. Like, could you just help me out? Like, why was it like, oh, I was just getting disgusted with like how he was treating and like everything that was happening every month of this year: January, February, March, April, May, June. I was just like, wow, I thought it was bad in August of last year. I'm really seeing and learning you for the type of person you really are. So I was just like disgusted by that. But then after, we didn't go to the funeral. I didn't go. And he was upset about that. He's like, you've been to everybody's funeral in my family. You're not going to come to my dad's. And I'm like, no. And he was demanding me to give my daughter to him so that she could go. And I'm like, my daughter's 4, 5. She's not thinking about no funeral. No, you're not bringing her. She's not going. Anyways, I ended up seeing some of his family after, and they were questioning me. They're like, why weren't y'all at the funeral? And I'm like, was I supposed to be? Like, you're not going, especially after just how his dad was just treating me and his granddaughter for the 6 weeks that I was at his mom's house. No, you should hear the vile things he was saying about my kid and how he's treating her, how he's talking to her. A person that is dying should be nicer and wanting to spend time with his kids and his grandkids, yo. Anywho, one of the family members told me that, and I didn't ask anything about the funeral, but they had said that him and the mom, the son and the wife didn't get up and speak, didn't say any words about this person, only the brother and the grandma, his mom, the dad's mom. They are the only people that got up and spoke and said words about this person's life. When this person told me that, I thought, wow, I am glad I freed myself from this situation because that could be me. Like, I already seen how this person just treated me through all this stuff of like losing kids, going through surgeries, multiple surgeries, going through a crisis with my daughter, and then locking me up and just leaving me there and not saying anything to me, not caring about how this is really affecting me. Like, and so if I would spend my entire life with this person, and I do know that women always love longer than men, but let's just say the opposite happens, this person wouldn't stand up and talk about my life, wouldn't have anything to say about me, I wouldn't want to spend my time with that person. So that was very eye opening. They shared a lot of stuff with me, but I was just like, yeah, even in death, like obviously death and grief affects people differently. But I feel like your siblings, your parents, like you should definitely have something to say. Like you should be the people that stands up and says something. So I thought it was weird that that person was telling me that the son, one of the sons, had nothing to say about their father. And then the wife, the person who spent her whole entire life with this person, you had nothing to say about this person you just spent your life with, because deep down inside you really hated this person, you didn't really want to be with them. And so that would have been my story. Like, you didn't really love me, you didn't really like me. So even if something fatal like that would, like, you wouldn't have nothing to say about me, because the opposite, I would definitely have something to say about you. I'm always praising and loving these people. I was just loving the wrong people and always giving them praise and reassurance, and giving them titles they didn't earn and a whole bunch of stuff. So fuck it. Fuck it, 2 tears in a bucket, yo. Yeah, that's what I thought. The wife. Now, they were married for decades, and then they got divorced and she moved on. So when I started dating her son officially, she was with somebody else and they were getting ready to move and start a whole new life together. And I, at that time, thought that his father had already been passed away, because I had never met the father. They never talked about him. And I did know the father was like my mom, struggled with like drugs and alcohol. So I thought his dad obviously wasn't already around, because he was never around and nobody ever talked about him. And then one day he just popped back up, and the issues that he was battling that led to his deceasing just recently, that had been the issue. So they already thought it was going to be bad back then. That was 10 years ago. He just popped up and demanded and played on her emotions and was like, oh, I'm really sick and I don't have long to live and I don't have anywhere to go and you're my person and this and this and that. And so she left the person that she was with to cater to this man who drove her batshit crazy. Like, he already abused and used you once, had other multiple kids during their marriage, all types of shit, yo. And she took him back and like was with him and took care of him up until he just passed away recently. So you mean to tell me, bitch, that you just spent all this time with this person and she was mad because he came back into her life, stressed her out, verbally still abused her, still physically abused her, and she stayed and just like wanted to be something to talk about. Like, oh, guess what he does to me? He drives me crazy. He stresses me out. He does this. He does that. I don't want to hear that shit every time I come over here. But anyways, that's what she did. So she gave up this person when I started dating her son and she was dating the other person that she was going to move away with. She was happy. She was glowing. And she was always like, he was always taking her out and treating her and spoiling her. And then you get back with this person who's broke, busted, and disgusted and stressing you out and calling you names and treating you bad and abusing you and playing mind games. Same shit. So when I went to the mom's house and stayed there for 6 weeks at the beginning of the year, I was like, oh shit, this is eye-opening, because if I don't get out of this shit, this is really going to be me. I'm going to be dealing with this miserable fuck who's mean to his kids, mean to the grandkids, and just wants to sit in the room and get as high as you can and hang out with your boys. Same shit, yo. So I was like, oh shit, I gotta get out of this shit. However, I gotta get out of it. But I just thought that was absurd. How the hell you spend your whole life with somebody and then they pass away and you are the wife and you have nothing to say about your beloved estranged husband? Like, nothing. And they both were veterans. Like, that's how they met. They were in the army. And she didn't say nothing and he didn't say nothing. Only the younger brother, which doesn't surprise me. The younger brother is complete opposite, but he stood up and had some words to say about his father. And then his mom, the dad's mother, who's very much still alive. That's another thing. Like, I love the grandma. I used to go, we go visit her every summer. And like, this lady used to be a slave. She used to pick cotton. She has a lifetime of stories. So every summer we would go there. I would bring my camera and I would just want to know about her life and ask her stuff about like slavery and cotton picking. Like, I wanted to know this stuff. This lady's a wealth of knowledge, and they had no interest. They were like, you do that. I'd be like, wow, that's crazy. Like, if I had a grandma that just lived through all this stuff, I'd be talking to her every day, wanting to know about mad shit, recipes, all types of stuff, history, all types of things. The last time that I got to be at her house, she told me heartbreaking stories about stuff with her and her kids, like, going through slavery. I was crying. I was like, you don't want to learn this stuff, and you have this person here that's like, and she's still mobile, she has her right mind, and she's just an amazing lady, yo. And I so like, I felt sad that I didn't go to the funeral because I wasn't able to see her and, you know, console her with her grief. This was her son. So they're the only two people that spoke, and that was what one of the family members told me. So I was like, damn, he didn't even get up and say nothing about his dad, yo. That's crazy. So if it was me, he wouldn't get up and say nothing about me. And the wife didn't say nothing because she didn't like him. She really didn't like him. She felt like he destroyed her life and fucked up her mental health, you know, which he did. So even in death. So I don't know what's going on with him now. He's probably still haunting her in her fucking dreams. I don't fucking know. I'm just glad to be away from them, yo. I am just glad to be away from them and got myself out of that shit, yo. So damn, shorty. Thank you, Chris, for feeling my pain. But yes, L. Definitely wild the wife didn't speak. Good realization for you. Thank you. Hi, Wilford. God bless. Trini love Jesus. Thank you. Hi, how you doing today? Oh, he is definitely searching for his mom, no question. A total doormat that to take care of him to the better end. Thank you. That was my thing. So me and Chris were talking about the Big Mouth episode and the doormat, the bath mat. Like, he's definitely, he would starting to train me to be his mom, especially with the food. Like, I'm very much family person, and I wanted to create family structure in our house. So I'm like, no, if I'm cooking breakfast, we're gonna sit at the table and eat and talk. I don't want to be on the phones. Like, I don't like that. I want to be in tune with me and you and our kid. And it would be a fight. Like, it never happens. And he'd be like, just put my food in the microwave. That's what my mom does for my dad, and I'll get it whenever I want. And I'm like, I'm not your fucking mom, yo. And then every day I found myself spot cleaning the same shit, and I would get so frustrated. Like, I just feel like I spend my time cooking and cleaning the same shit every single day. And this, I don't like this shit. Like, I am a free spirit. Like, I don't like this kind of structure and daily routine you're trying to put me in. And he'd be like, my mom does it. So I don't see what the problem is. Nigga, I'm not your mom. Like, I see what the problem is. What are you talking about? So definitely. So when I think about what just happened with the mom and the dad, that's what he's looking for. You're looking for somebody that's just going to sit in the house, wait on you hand and foot, cook and waste your time, because that would be her biggest complaint. She'd be like, oh my God, all he does is waste my time. He makes me cook for him, and then he doesn't eat the food, and it either sits in the microwave and goes bad, or he makes me put it in the fridge for leftovers and he never eats it. And then that's me wasting my time, right? And I'd be like, yeah, stop fucking doing it. And she was like, yeah, but then if I don't have nothing to cook, he gets mad and says I don't love him and I don't care about him because I didn't cook, but he wastes my time if I didn't cook. And I was like, oh shit, I hear myself. I hear myself, yo. So I was like, I'm not dealing with this shit, yo. So that's the same thing that's going to happen to him. I'm sorry to say that out loud, but he has a lot of issues, and if he doesn't deal with them, that's the thing about life. So that's why I went on my vegan journey, because it's like, if you're getting sick, if you don't deal with it, life's going to sit you down and make you deal with it. It's just like, if you don't take time to rest, life is going to pick the day for you to rest. And you're going to be resting a lot longer than if you took the initiative yourself to fucking rest. So I don't know what the end goal is for him. I definitely know that karma is going to dog walk him and his mama for how they treat their kids and their grandkids. And if he does have some kind of sickness or ailments or whatever's going on, I hope that you find your mom before then so that they can sit by your side and deal with him. Because I've dealt with him when he tries to when he tries to be sober and he's miserable. And I tried to work on him with that. I'm like, if you really want to stop smoking, bro, I'll help you. I wasn't calling him bro at the time. I was like, babe. But I'm like, I help you. Like, it's just like how we transition to vegan lifestyle. You can't cut cold turkey. They've been smoking 30 years, 40 years of your life, yo. You're gonna have to do it in small increments and like cut down the number of L's you smoke every day. Or I was trying to get him to like drink teas, like let's infuse the teas and let's try drinks and all this stuff. And he would just try to do it cold turkey, and like the one random days that he would pick to like not smoke all day, he would be miserable. And I'd be like, oh snap, like if he really tries to go through this, you're gonna be like a miserable person, like somebody trying to get off of heroin. Like you'll be going through all these withdrawals and taking it out on me. I'll help you, but not if you're gonna take it out on me. And then not if you're not making realistic goals. So I don't know what his destiny is, but I do know that that's what I hope for him. I hope that he finds his mama. And I hope that he finds somebody that's going to babysit him through it, because his dad was just a miserable F in his last years and definitely in his last days. And he would treat her like crap and he would treat the kids like crap. But then when his friends come around, that the people he would get high with, he'd be like, oh yeah, today I'm feeling blessed and amazing and highly favored because I have like such amazing friends, men, all men. You give the praise to men. Oh shit. Apple don't fall too far from the tree. But yeah, I don't know. I hope he finds his mom, because that's what he's looking for. He can hang out with friends all day, get high, and just have you sitting there so he knows where you're at. Because that's what he would tell me, like, at least I come home to you. You're not going to treat me like this or talk to me like that. You think that that's acceptable to me? At least I come home to you? I don't know who the fuck you think I am. I don't know who the fuck you think you are. But no. Them folks weird as fuck on Big Mouth. Did you watch any more episodes? Yo, I can't. I watched episode 1, and then after he made me watch episode 6, I'll never watch that show ever again. And then I did like extensive research on it. It's sick. You gotta be a sick-minded individual to like that show, yo. And to sit and watch it and be obsessed with it. Undead Swan says hi. Why is your name Undead? What is that about? But how you doing? I like the way you think. We should collaborate. I want to bring you to... All right. I was gonna compliment you, but let me report you. Because what the hell is you talking about? You ain't bringing me no fucking plantation. The hell? Thank God you left when you did. Sunken cost theory has destroyed so many lives, especially black women and their children. Sunken cost theory? Is that like the sunken place, like that movie? Or is this something else that I should look up? I never heard of that. Now I've been to Iraq and that dude seems to be in turmoil with his sex life. Ayo. I want to say something else too. I was really committed to him because and I told like one other person this. When I was pregnant, my cousin, the same cousin who was like, it's not going to work out and he's not supposed to be a part of your success and like your relationship's not going to work out. She is very good at predicting stuff. So I believed her. I've seen her say things about other people and they come to fruition. But I was like so involved in my relationship that I was just like, you're being a hater. She had me talk to a psychic, right? And I talked to the psychic and everything that they said that I talked to them was on point. At that time, I was like a few months pregnant and the person, it was like a phone interview. And the person on the phone had said, oh, you just lost the baby. Like, I never talked to them. So they're like, you just lost the baby. And it was true. I had just lost the baby, and I had a surgery to remove it, and they were telling me like that was you basically had a rainbow baby, and then they're like, and whatever they were using cards like tarot cards that are like this cup, it was like a cup that some like 9 cups of milk or something, I remember he said, and he was like, this represents birth life. He was like, so you're gonna get pregnant or you're already pregnant, and I happen to be pregnant, and so I was like, oh yeah, I'm actually pregnant now. And then like, oh, this is gonna be your little girl. And I was like, oh yeah, I really want a girl, but I'm not choosing to see what I'm getting. And then he told me that I'm gonna have 3 kids like my mom, but my order is gonna be different. I'm gonna have a girl first, and then I'm gonna have a boy and a girl, because my mom had a boy and then 2 girls. And I was like, oh, okay. And then he started telling me about my spouse at the time. So he was like, your spouse suffers from a lot of trauma. They have a lot of mother wounds and a lot of trauma, and they have a lifetime of healing that they need to do. And so that you need to be very patient with this person if you're gonna be with them. And I would just never forget like how they stressed that. Like, I have to be patient with this person, and I have to he was like, if any time you guys are gonna get into an argument, just don't argue with them. Have sex. He's like, that's the answer to his problems. Sex, sex, sex. He needs a lot of sex, a lot of sex. And at the time, I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, like he is sexually, he needs so much sex to deal with his emotions. So it makes me think of that big mouth shit. And that, and so I was kind of committed to that for a minute of like, okay, I don't mind working with him and being patient with him and being mindful of that, of the whole sex thing. But that didn't work. None of that shit works, yo. Whew. I agree, especially with a polygamy couple. Something's off with that friendship. Right. And then he would tell me about the man, about how the man manipulates the girl because she's insecure and she has like a lot of low life. And then the other thing about the girl, let me say that real quick. He was trying to recruit her, the girl, in the polygamy relationship, to be a babysitter for our daughter. He was like, oh, I have somebody that'll watch our kid. What do you mean? You should be the other person. I shouldn't be trying to recruit people to watch our kid when you're the father. You should be watching her. So he was trying to recruit this girl. Mind you, he had shared with me, he tells everybody's personal business. He has shared with me that this girl legally cannot, she has twins, she has twin boys, that she legally cannot watch her own kids because the father took her to court and the father won custody. And that usually never happens, especially in Massachusetts. Massachusetts is very much a woman's state, so the woman is always favored. So she didn't even have custody of her own fucking kids, and you're trying to have her watch our daughter? That's what you're out here trying to do while you put me away. And then on top of that, he would share with me about how the boy, the man, basically plays off of her emotions and plays off her insecurities and was able to talk her into this whole lifestyle. So she does a lot of stuff to please him and his sexual needs. And he wanted me to, like, that's what he thinks about me. He thinks I'm insecure and that he could just like run all this game and like connect me to like whatever he's into. That's how I look at it now. But I ain't into that shit. I'm very much a one man woman. I don't have time for that. Yes, I'm always smiling. What are you talking about? Bravery? No, that's not my style. We can't be that way. Facts, yo. Sunken cost fallacy. I have to look into this. I don't know too much about this. Elaborate. Sunken cost fallacy. Okay, let me take a screenshot. I'm gonna do some research on that later. I predict you will get it. What? Cat and spit on him for us. No, 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 I don't believe in bodily fluids on people, yo. No, thank you. That's what I wish for him. I was gonna say I don't wish him well. I don't wish him bad. I wish that he finds the woman he's looking for, which is a version of his mother, before life puts him on his ass. That's what I wish for him. Do, 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 do. So that was pretty much today's India talk. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for checking in with me. I bet some good, good. I bet it's some good, good, but this dude ain't want no woman. I don't know what the fuck he wants, yo. I don't know what he wants. And I know what he got, and so does he. And I'm not worried about it. Like, I don't know. I don't know who I was laying with. So that's what frightens me. And I feel like I should not have been so open with him. And I shouldn't have risked my body for him several times, my life for him several times. Because I just experienced a lot of loss in the relationship. And I mean, you live and you learn. And people come into your life to either be a lesson or a blessing, and sometimes both. So I just wish I could get my time back, yo. That's all. And my body parts that I don't have half of my reproductive system any longer. So probably not that good, Chris. She has a wide chin. Okay. Let me remove you. Oh my gosh. Anyways, that's just wrong. That's her fault. Yeah, it is my fault. You can't live in the past, just live in the present. That's what I'm doing. I'm just reflecting. I'm just reflecting on true story, my life. That's all I could do. Hi T Plaid. What's up? Ramon, you got a question? What's your question? T Plaid, where are you from? I'm from Massachusetts. That's some crazy mess to say, and he's looking for a man. You're confirmed on this, Chris? Or that's your full confirmation? Yeah, I was really thinking about it so hard. Like, especially because that's the other thing. When we'd be out, he would be pointing out gay men. He'd be like, that man's gay. It would just be like random. Nothing that I would really focus on until it was a personal mutual friend. And how I'd be talking about, oh, that person's dope. They just told us about this grant, and I like this person because they're always putting us onto opportunities. And he would just immediately go to like this person's sexuality, which I never questioned. But every single time we would see this person or run into them, always be like, oh, I think he wants me. He's always looking at me like he wants me. And I'd just be like, it wasn't until the last time we see that person, the emphasis that was put on, and I was just like, this is getting strange now. So if you're confirming it, I don't know. Like I said, I didn't never catch it in the act, but there is a lot of signs. So I just go with the bisexual. I don't want to say like, oh, he was really, I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff, especially after the big mouth thing. But at the way you're hating on a woman, and I'm the third woman that he's done this to. Not to this capacity, but the first mom ran away with her kid, and then the second mom, she only lets the kid come around if she's trying to club or party. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap up today's thing. I think y'all fucking with me. Tomorrow's the last day of my series. Hi Axis. Hello from France. Thank you for joining in. I'm from Massachusetts. Hi KJ. Hi Thailand. Hey girl. Oh my gosh. All right, so I'm gonna leave y'all with my daughter went to sleep. That's like amazing. But now she's gonna be up through the night. A lot of male narcs are bi-curious. Yo, through my research over the last year, I've read that like they just look for supply. They don't care who they get the supply from as far as sexually, which makes sense about the big mouth episode of like a pillow and a bath mat and men and women, and it doesn't matter. That's why I'm like, oh shit, like who have I really been laying with and giving my body to? That's probably why. Mm-mm. Sex isn't gendered for them. It's more about power and energy. Also, never met a straight guy with a gaydar. That's a valid fucking point, yo. Oh my gosh. So I don't know. And the way he has a disdain for all the mothers, like I should have not had a kid with this man because the way he would talk about the other moms, it was so bad that I'd be like, at the end of the day, these are the mothers of your kids. So, and he'd be like, nah, you don't know what they did to me or how they treated me or stuff like that. And then the only reason I believed a lot of the stuff, because the mom would back it up. The mom would back up all the lies, and she'd add on more lies on top of more lies about what they did and what they would say and how they would treat the. And I'd be like, when he's saying it's bad, but like, why would the mom lie? Why would she be backing up these stuff? And then why would she add on these allegations? Like, so they must be really like this, or they must be as horrible as they say. And I don't know. Let me not get involved, especially because I wasn't a mom at the time. So so now I'm a part of whatever narrative and story that they're saying about me, and I don't give a fuck. Like, the truth is out there with me. I put everything out on social media. I was in real time in that bitch's house, live on my social medias, on Facebook and Instagram. Like, I'm in this bitch's house. I came here in a police escort, and this bitch ain't worried about what's going on with her son. She told me if I'm gonna come here with her granddaughter, that I need to pay her $100 to stay here. And then every day I would record the stuff that was going on in that house, live, real time, so that nobody could say that I was lying or making it up or having an episode. I was recording every day in that bitch's house, every single day, everything that was going on there. And then they were getting mad. They're like, oh, because they couldn't hide behind their mask anymore. And now it's out there for anybody to watch that shit. So a lot of shit went down at the beginning of the year. So, hey, whatever they say about me, you could go check the shit out. You're interested in me, cool guy. You love my hair, talent. Thank you. All right, you gotta get out of here. Cool guy. Keep your head up and your legs closed, shorty. Yeah. Okay, Chris. Definitely keeping my head up. And I have not been intimate with anybody in over a year now, since the last time I forced this man to prove to me that I wasn't tripping, which I feel so dumb about now. So, touche. Hi, Lauren. I posted a peaceful life path short story today. Oh, check it out, Keith. His mom was conditioned. She almost as bad as him. Imagine how you ended up if you stayed. Facts, yo. I honestly feel sorry for them, yo. I really do. But you know what? Something that I talk about in therapy was he would kept conditioning me of like, you have to think. My parents, they didn't raise me. But he grew up with his mom and his dad. So it was like, at the time I was understanding that because I didn't grow up with my mom or my dad. Like, I was adopted when I was 5. And my dad's never been in my life. My dad has had multiple wives, had multiple kids. I didn't find out about my dad until at his funeral, and I met a lot of my half brothers and sisters that I didn't even know. I really don't know how many true brothers and sisters I have outside of the ones my mom and my dad had. And then my mom's always been in and out of my life. And then I lived with my mom through my high school years. And then me and my mom talk on the phone here and there. But it had dawned on me after going through this of I'm no longer letting you feed me this excuse because you grew up with both of your parents in the household. It doesn't matter what was going on in the household. You grew up with some kind of family structure. So to try to be I'm not the type of man that I want to be because of my dad, or I didn't have a role model show me how to be a father. Motherfucker, I didn't have no role model to show me how to be a mom. And the reason of the way of the kind of mom that I am and how hands-on I am and how loving and connected I am to my daughter is because of the neglect that I received. So it should automatically be the same thing for you, especially because you had them around. Like, I didn't have anyone. Like, literally nobody taught me how to be a mom or a woman. Like, I literally had to teach myself from being around a bunch of people who I wanted to be nothing like. That's what taught me. Life taught me. Life is the best teacher. So I was really believing that, like, oh, he doesn't really know how to be a dad. But then when I got pregnant, the main thing that he would remind me of every day is like, oh, this is going to be tough for you because because this is your first. Like, I'm already 2 in, so this is going to be a piece of cake for me. And I used to be like, what? But then you're not involved with your other two kids. Like, you're always crying about how, like, oh, my father didn't take me outside to play ball, or like spending time with me or teach me anything. So it's like you should be double, triple involved in your kid's life because of, so it would just be like sounding good. He's speaking theory of like what kind of father he wanted to be, and I like ran with that. But then I would see like what kind of father he really was. So yeah, this is my fault. Hi, Lauren. Hi, Luigi. Neglect isn't the same thing as chaos and trauma, though. Both can be detrimental. It's not a competition. We all want what we didn't have. I agree with that wholeheartedly, L. And in his case, it was both trauma and chaos, and neglect. Mine just wasn't involved. So definitely neglect, and then abandonment and mind games. And my mom and my dad's both very narcissistic, and then my adoptive family was no better. So I learned the type of person I want to be and how I am based off being around a lot of people that I didn't want to be like, and just being like, that's never going to be me. And like, they do things and create their own pain, and I'd just be like, and then don't take accountability and like point and blame. So that's why like I can take accountability and be like, yeah, this was my fault because I like totally ignored a lot of red flags. And I believe in the person that he speaks about who he wants to be. But that's just not who he is, and I don't know if he'll ever be that, and I can't waste another day of my life trying to wait for that. So, but I do agree with your statement. That was a very powerful statement, Ellen. But he would force feed me that and be like, my dad never showed me how to be a man. Well, my mom never showed me how to be a mom. So does that make me neglect my daughter and like not fully show up for her? Or like, no. I was like, there's a quote that is very near and dear to me, like a lot of quotes. But this quote, you are born looking like your parents, but you're going to die looking like your choices. So it doesn't matter who your parents are, or what you were birthed into, or how you grew up, or what you struggled with, or what you suffered through. I always remind you that nothing you suffered through and survived through goes wasted. It is all towards your purpose. Okay? But then also, it doesn't matter because you're going to die. Like, you have to take control of your own life, and your life is your legacy, and your legacy is based on your choices, not who your parents were. Your parents are just the reason that you're here, yo. And if they didn't give you the life that you wanted or you were born into, it's your responsibility to make that happen before you get the fuck up out of here. That's just what it is. Hello, you have been given my best wishes for your life. I hope your days are great. Thank you, the Phantom. I appreciate that. Hi, Ricky. Hi, Jimmy. Hey, sweetheart. How are you? Anyways, I'm going to leave y'all with my 3 messages like I always do and check in with y'all tomorrow. You are an exceptional person to have turned out good despite all that. Why did you live with your mother in high school even though you were adopted? Okay. Because one day I went to school. So I was in 9th grade. I went to school like any other day, like I did, living with my grandma, who's not my real grandma. I have a whole series of like, I'm going to do like my husband, who's not my husband, my mother-in-law, who's not my mother-in-law, my aunt, who's not my aunt, my grandma, who's not my grandma. Anyways, I went to school and I came home. And when I came home, my grandmother did not let me and my sister, so she had an enclosed porch. So she didn't let us go in the house. We went into the porch, me and my sister, and all of our stuff was packed up. And nobody said nothing. They just sat there in silence. And then um, my mother pulled up with her uh, soon to be husband at the time, and they put our bags in the car and put me and my sister in the car and said, "You're gonna go live with your mom." Nobody said nothing to us. They didn't prep us, nothing. My brother he already had a baby at the time, and he was living with his girl. And he was already too grown. My brother was like 19 at the time. And so that was how I started living with my mom. No warning or nothing. And then, like, prior in the 10 years that I lived with my grandma, who was my guardian, but not my real grandma, when we lived with her, growing up, it was just really confusing because when they loved on us, they loved on us. And then, like, when they didn't like us, they would be like, "That's why y'all not our real family anyways." And I really, like, didn't understand that growing up. Like, what do you mean? Because, like I said, I was 5 when we got adopted. And I didn't even understand. I didn't even understand that I was adopted until I was like 17, living with my mom and asking her questions and like being able to piece and connect the dots and stuff. I never understood that. But when I had understood that I was adopted, I had now started to be like, oh, I can understand like why they would be like, y'all not our real family anyways or whatever. Um, but prior to that, in the 10 years of living there, when my mom did come around, she was like on drugs and like strung out and homeless. So I was like growing up, I was afraid of my mom. So I had seen my mom in all these uncompromising positions and the times that she would come around, like begging for money and all types of stuff. Till like one day I went to school and then she pulled up. She at that time like she had went through a program and like was got herself together. So my mom has been on her feet ever since taking care of us then, but not really. Like my mom still struggles with addictions and alcohol and stuff like that. But as far as like living on her own and not never being back on the streets since I was 16 or I was 15 about to turn 16, she has had her own place. But like that was scary. I'm like, what do you mean you're gonna go live with this lady? At the time, I didn't call her my mom. I was like, I don't know this fucking lady. Like, she's a stranger, and I'm scared of her. Like, what do you mean? And nobody said nothing. They didn't explain. They didn't tell us prior. They didn't prep us. They just put me and my sister in the car, and then I lived with my mom for the remainder of high school in Connecticut, and it was hell. Living with my mom was hell. I would never live with my mom ever again. I love my mom and we have a okay relationship. It could be better, and I wish that we were a lot closer. That's just never gonna happen. But living with my mom was hell, and that goes back to my story time of being locked up for the first 6 days. I didn't eat or drink nothing. And then when the psychiatrist was like, "Oh, we're worried about you. Like, that's not normal. Nobody can eat or drink nothing for 6 days." I said, "Bitch, I live with my mom. And me and my sister had to starve many days, many weeks, many months. Because my mom would sell all the food out the refrigerator and the TVs and a whole bunch of other stuff. So I channeled that shit. I could channel anything trauma related. But that's how I lived with her." To answer your question, hi, artists. You were so right. My dad wasn't there, and I'm a better man for that. Right. I feel like if you have the role model, you can be 10 times better. But if you don't, then you got to have that dog in yourself to be like, I'm not going to be like this person. I'm going to be better. And so he used that. He manipulated me with that. And it wasn't until I was in therapy that I was just like, oh, yeah, he's been manipulating me. Because he did. They were present. They were in the army. At some point in time, they had their life together. No matter what the abuse was going on, they had their life together. I didn't have a mother or a father present. I lived with my grandmother, who wasn't my real grandmother. What the fuck are you talking about? Okay. So, I just saw the movie The Lost Boys of Sudan. I never watched that, so I don't have an opinion. And hi Maya, thanks for the queen. All right, I'm wrapping up. This is the longest I've been on. I was saying that tomorrow is probably going to be my longest day doing a live because it's the last day of the series. And I have so much to unpack for the last day. I'm trying to squeeze the last day from August 14th all the way to March of this year. Because I don't want to keep talking about this man and my experience in this way. But I have so many lessons that I will show up and talk to y'all every day about different stuff. But let's wrap it up because it's 6 o'clock and I gotta do dinner for me and my baby. Bye. Thanks for sharing. You're easy to listen to. Oh, thank you, Elle. I appreciate that. I hope that you have an amazing night. I'm gonna wrap it up with my 3 messages. So 1, don't let anybody give you a label or put a label on you, because those who try to label you want you to live in lack. They do not want you to live in your purpose. They see something in you that they don't want you to see for yourself, so therefore they try to label you so that the label now becomes your identity and you don't find your true purpose of what God put you here for. So don't let anybody label you. 2, don't let anybody put you in a box, which is my favorite thing to say, because those who try to put you in a box is simply because they cannot get out of yours. And if you let people put you in a box, they'll eventually try to put you in a ditch. And I almost didn't make it out of mine. So that's why that's my favorite. And then 3, don't forget to turn your life into a lifestyle. And you turn your life into a lifestyle by saving yourself, because you always have to remember that nobody's coming to save you. Absolutely nobody's coming to save you. You have to save yourself. And the way to save yourself is by participating in your own rescue. If you tap into yourself more and out of the world less, you will be able to turn your life into a lifestyle, and you won't have to live the life that your parents want you to live. You don't have to live the life that society tries to mold you to have, and you don't have to live the life that the job system and the school system tried to create you to have, which is wake up, work a job that you absolutely hate, and pay bills and die. We're not born to work a job and pay bills and die. You were born to live, not exist. You were born to have abundance and prosperity. It is your birthright. So, tap in, tune in, and turn your motherfucking self on. Turn your life into a lifestyle. Live a life of luxury. Live the life that you are supposed to live. So, yeah. With that being said, I hope that you guys have a good night. I hope that you have an amazing dinner. Don't forget to thank God for giving you another day. Don't forget to thank God if you ate or drink something today. Don't forget to thank God if you have a car, if you have a roof over your head, clothes on your back, you're able to wash your ass. Those are all luxuries, and you are truly, truly blessed. And I can say that because just at the beginning of the year, I was homeless. So yeah, I hope that you guys have an amazing night, and I will be back tomorrow with another India talk, day 19 of the final day of this series. So with that being said, peace.